Okay, another thing appeared. Okay, never mind. Now I'm here. So, uh, my name is Casey Broadhead. I am the Dungeon Master for Nightcastle Services, and we're so excited that you guys are here for our D&D campaign, The Fall of Shadowfell. Today we're just kind of continuing from where we left off, but really quick, some announcements. If you would like to play with us or play with me as the Dungeon Master, you're welcome to check out the website, which is on the side of the screen. And you can also check out these videos will be going out on YouTube this upcoming Tuesday, and there are other videos that will be saturated on there as well for you to check out. There's a bunch of other free content that you can get through kind of checking out the website and other stuff if you want more stuff from us. And yeah, we're super excited that you guys are here and excited to get going. So I'll just kind of jump right in here and we'll jump into a recap. After escaping the sewers beneath the city of Bosham, the doomed city of Bosham, and making their way into a strange room known as the Plain Colossus's Grave, and the subsequent encounter of our friends Sarah and Frey with their prospective friends and enemies. We then, our heroes, found their way to a teleportation circle, eventually making their way to a cottage beside his graveyard, meeting the paralyzed centaur Imidar and the wizard Beastian Tamra. They then made their way to the city of Thedon, which is built into canyon walls that go deep into a ravine. They were able to find the survivors of the city of Bosham and were able to, especially Evangeline, reunite with those they cared about and Frey with his own family. They then visited the Harpy's Hideaway, the shop that Tanra owned, and upon learning of and then Umberon also learned of, was able to discover that his family was in town, reconnect with them, and learn that his betrothed was actually in Thedon and would like to meet with him this next day. The other interesting thing of our last session was the strange visitor to Evangeline and the subsequent asking for her to keep an eye on our particular party members. And I believe that we ended with Umberon visiting his parents and meeting Quentin Sarlia. So, as of this moment, the city is yours. But I believe as of right now, Umberon and Ramus are currently at the Quentin Sarlia's mansion, and that the rest of you are, I believe, all at the same place, though I may be wrong. But the city is open to you. As of right now, it's probably around 10 a.m. I love the fact that you just need to go there. Yeah. Can you hear them now? So you don't hear them at all, right? Give me one moment.
Apologize
Okay,
to the viewers.
Are we loud and clear?
I can hear.
I can hear now. Yeah.
Okay, we fixed it. We're good. All right.
Yeah, you did it.
But yeah, you want to visit Gurk's. It's around 10 a.m. is kind of what we got there. And then yeah, what would you guys like to do?
I would like to supervise.
Yeah, I want to go to Dirk's. Dirk sounds awesome. Or
I don't know if it sounds awesome, but it sounds interesting.
Okay. So I guess we're having an adventure to Grix.
What was the name
What
of this
else
place
do
again?
you want to do?
Like an Assassin's Guild.
Okay, so
What was
if
this
you
place called again? Like the Boneyard or something? Where we are right now?
where
Don't-
you're
Was
yeah,
it?
give me one moment. I can tell you here. I
Don't think it was the boneyard.
I don't think
It
it's
was
the
something
bone.
yard. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That was the one thing I didn't have up. Give me one moment here. Go ahead and keep asking your questions. I'm just trying to find my stuff here.
Also, on the way to Girks, I wanted to see if there was like a message board anywhere in town, or like a place
Okay.
where they would post news.
Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's good.
Where would my little dog have gone?
Wow.
It's a
He's
wonderful
disappeared.
question.
He's dead, and I don't know what happened to him.
After we're done going here, though, Casey, I would like to talk to Trad.
Okay. Can do.
About her secret.
About my murdering of everybody at the party.
Oh, her
Yeah,
secret lover. What?
What? You don't know anything, Wesley.
Somehow that seems more like things got out of hand than her murdering. So whether or not that concerns me.
That is a little concern. I don't know.
I have for some reason lost my map of the city. That's okay. We can keep going.
Oh no.
But
Why do I have to log in again? You stupid. Sorry.
Okay, so you want to visit Girks. Perfect.
Absolutely, we do.
Okay, who all is going to Girks? I just need to know.
Me.
I guess I am.
Yeah, I'm going. Me and Ray's, the unknown
everybody.
face who's not here but is here with us.
You're
She's
in
here in
spirit.
spirit.
Okay, so basically everyone's going to Girks.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess so.
Okay.
Somehow we just all know to go there at the same time.
Yeah, you all know to be Girks for sure. First, Ramus, who basically ran the whole way there.
Yes.
Oh,
Arriving
Ramus, you're so much
outside.
faster than I am.
Just keep up.
The
It's like
outside
a
of the
race.
shop. The outside of the shop is fairly well maintained. It looks nice. It looks clean. It has these little lanterns that stick out with these small reddish stones that are glowing on the outside. They're just kind of barely being held there. You can see immediately through the door that this place appears to be a bookstore. From what you can tell, it's full of books.
No.
And there appears to be maybe 3 or so people inside.
Worst enemy.
Yep.
Knowledge.
Books.
Oh, I thought.
Bookstore. Phew.
As a ranger changes my favorite enemy to books.
Is there a section on magic in the bookstore?
So you're going inside?
Yes.
Okay, so stepping inside,
I'm
yes, there
going.
appears to be a section on magic. The other thing you notice immediately is over in like the back of the room, taking up most of the space as the ceiling is a little bit short in here. Not really short, but just a little bit. You can see that kind of hunched over in the back edge of the room behind the counter is just a immense ogre that just like watches you as you step inside. And you can see that off to the side there is like a very nicely labeled little sign that says magic, like and like arcane information, basically.
Amazing. I'm gonna like give him a big old wave. Like
his hand just kind of
Nice.
You just keep staring.
Is the magic area like organized by schools of magic?
It does not. In fact, it appears to be fairly sparse. There appear to be maybe 3 books here.
Okay.
Any books in
Are any
Draconic?
of them necromancy by chance?
There, of the 3 of them, one of them is a generalized kind of study of the different schools of magic, so it could have stuff on necromancy in it. The others would not. One of them is a very specific dive into divination magic, and the final one is a history, basically, of magic in Fandria.
Why is our wizard interested in necromancy?
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool, isn't it?
Our clearly
Yeah.
chaotic wizard.
Yeah,
Right.
especially that one.
I'm starting to believe that I am the only one not on the watch list for a reason.
What would be the reason for me? Huh?
Your dark ancestors, that's what it is.
You don't know that.
I know something.
You know there's something wrong with you, but you don't know what.
I'd
Yeah.
like to
there-
read the divination book.
Okay.
Well, if you're
For
gonna
sure.
read that, I'll read the general one first. Then.
All right.
Are there any books in
it-
Draconic?
There are. In fact, most of the story, you notice that one of the interesting things about it is it seems to be organized by language. Seems to be more of the organization of it, and the magic area just seems to be like an afterthought. Of like, people probably want to find magic specifically, here you go. But there is one specifically in Draconic.
I'll read it.
Okay. Of the about 40 or so books in Draconic, most of them seem to be kind of like reprints of like either a novel or a history or a history or something that's been rewritten in Draconic. But you do notice that there are some of them that are kind of seem to be put in there for almost any sort of a reason. Basically, they're just books on random stuff. You see one that's in fact just a book on like there's one that's like a dragon's favorite meals. And as you open it thinking like, oh, this could be useful for Bayana, you like open it up, and it's literally just like some guy's cookbook that he just named this catchy title, hoping people would buy it.
Nice.
How much?
How much for it? Nice. For the book itself, it's for that book, it's 2 silver.
You.
Okay, you have a dragon's favorite foods.
Beautiful.
See,
Good
and this
night.
is why I have the rest of your money.
Wait,
Can I look?
I thought you couldn't read.
I can read Draconic like perfectly. For some odd reason.
Someone's phone is on vibrate. I think it's you, Kyrian.
I'll check. It's mine. I will turn it off.
It probably is. That's my bad. I sent the text.
That's on me. My bad.
You're good.
I'd like to look for something in Runic because I haven't read Runic in a while, so I need to refresh myself. And the past couple days, I've had to read a lot of it.
Okay. Yeah, there are books that are like refreshers in Runic. Like each of the language areas seems to have one to learn the language. Seems to have a book if you want to learn that particular language. But there are also books on just like random novels and different things like that if you'd like anything of another sort.
Oh yeah, I'll look for a random novel. Yeah.
Okay. There's one of them that you come across that seems to be a very like the title catches your eye first because in Runic it's like it would spell just this incredibly like promises so much, and as you open it and like look at the front cover and like or like checking it out, you realize it's just a very poorly written romantic fiction. Just really
No.
poorly written. And I mean, it's there, but there are other books that are of more like probably interest to you. There's one of them that seems to be a book on philosophy.
Oh, that's
And-
interesting.
And you notice one of them that kind of catches your eye is one of them in Runic is it says like the Bard's Guide to Runic is basically what it says.
Bard's
Okay.
Guide to Runic.
Yeah.
Ooh, that might be funny to read. Yeah, I'll bring it up to the counter. I'm just gonna be like, what does this entail? It seems oddly specific.
The one that says a Bard's Guide to Runic.
Yeah.
Okay. He takes it and he says, "Well, it's a book."
Quite adept you are, aren't you?
And he just kind of like sets it back down on the table.
Well, I'll keep looking. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just look for some interesting story, I guess, if he has any.
Yeah. There's one that is the name of the story is it's called the Tale of the Despicable,
Oh, cool.
which seems to be very interesting.
Yeah, so I'll bring that up and I'll be like, how much for this?
It would be um 3 silver.
3 silver? Okay. I'll give him 3 silver and be like,
Okay.
thank you, sir. Uh,
Uh-huh.
see you around, I guess.
Bye. Okay, Kieran.
I thought of another book that I wanted to go. Are there any books on demons?
On demons.
Yes.
Okay.
I know
So you're looking-
everything I've been asking about is extremely suspicious.
You're just giving me
I
more
want to
for the
find
watch
something on
list, you know?
demons.
First necromancy, second demons. What's next?
Is there a specific language you're
Mind
looking for
flayers?
this to be in?
I mean, preferably a language I know, but if it's not a language I know, I do have comprehend languages. So, like, if I can't find anything in something I know, I might just cast comprehend languages and like look around.
Okay. Make me an investigation check.
Alrighty.
Check of the session.
12.
Searching around the particular store, even casting comprehend languages if you want to, you don't find anything that seems to be on demons.
Dang it. Oh well. I guess I'll just sit down and start reading my book then, I guess. Is there a place to sit down?
Yeah, there's like a little corner with like there's like 2 tables that have been kind of like shoved together with like some chairs that have been set uncomfortably close together.
Cool. I'll just go sit down and start reading.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I want to
Um,
go back in and read with Ramus.
Go for
That
it.
seems cool.
Okay.
Little
And then
metagamey.
Umberon, I believe you were looking at the divination book. Anything specific you're looking for in the book, or just want to read it over?
Yeah, just kind of thumbing through.
Okay. The book's it's a deep dive into divination. It seems to be fairly well written. It doesn't give any specifics on spells or how to cast any of them, but it does give a fairly decent guide into the realm of divination magic. Especially, you find it interesting as you quickly notice that some of the spells that it kind of does a brief touch on are ones that are are of a much higher level of magic than you are able to cast.
Mm.
Anything interesting in my book?
You're looking for necromancy?
Well, necromancy specifically, and then maybe like if there's anything on port or on gate weaving in here, and then other kinds of magic, like necromancy priority, then gate weaving, and then other stuff.
Okay. So on necromancy, there is stuff in this book on it. There's nothing. There's no spells. This is a specific, kind of a generalized look at each of the schools as a whole. One of the most interesting things that you find initially is that from what it seems to portray necromancy as, necromancy seems to be put in a much better light than many of the other schools are. And it doesn't seem to be just the writer's interpretation. From your reading in your past, necromancy often seems to be given a lot of a much better rap than you would expect from just a thought of necromancy. As for gate weaving, this book is too old. It does not have anything on gate weaving, nor
Dang.
any of the other recent things like Hydra Arcane
magic. That's fair.
How's your book reading going over there, Ramus? I've gotten a pretty interesting book here. I think it's turning out pretty good here.
Oh, really? What's yours about?
It's just a story about I'll look at the book cover and I've forgotten it already. What was it called? The Tale of the Despicable.
Yeah, it's a book about it's a book about a group of children. It's actually, as you read and actually look at the back cover, it's a historical fiction. And it goes over a group of people that used to be called the Despicables about 500 years ago, where there was a specific group of children that were forced to fight in wars, and they were called the Despicable. And it goes over a little bit of their story. So it's an old book, but it was written.
Yeah, so I'll just be like, yeah, it's called The Tale of the Despicable. Apparently, this group of children were called the Despicable. It's kind of cool. Interesting.
That's a rather unfortunate name, but it sounds interesting.
It's very interesting.
Mine's just about magic.
A magic? What kind of magic?
All sorts of magic. I've been reading in the necromancy area. Apparently, it's not just for bringing back zombies and stuff.
Well, that's interesting.
If you get a lot of things that you can bring someone's soul back.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that you were interested in necromancy. That's interesting.
Well, I'm really interested in all kinds of magic, but necromancy has been. I've been kind of going through a list, and that's the one that I'm currently on.
Oh, well, that's cool. So you're just trying to learn all sorts of magic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
cool. The more
cool.
magic I learn, the more magic I can teach.
That's true. That's true. Well, that's pretty cool. I hope you find what you need.
Yeah, I hope so too. Then he goes back to reading.
Yeah, I go back to reading as well.
Frey, I believe you asked if there were any job listings.
Yeah, message boards or things where they post news about the city.
Yeah. You would notice several things. The first is on the board, the biggest thing on there is a request for someone to clear out the to figure out where a source of dangerous creatures has been coming from inside of some of Thedon's older mines. There's a request to remove some sort of dangerous creatures from there, or at least figure out the source.
Wait, Saixer's reading these out to me.
Yes, Saixer, you are being forced to read these out.
Obviously.
Yes. You also know that there is also a request that seems to tie in. It's kind of been stamped onto the board, attached to this one, that says any information found in the mines as to either whether they're alive or dead. The death of a specific bandage ghoul disappeared down there recently. And then you would also know that there are several other job listings. One of them is for a group to stay awake at night in the merchant, like basically in the market area, and see if the reports of ghosts appearing is true. And the final one you see is the guard are looking for a group of mercenaries willing to check out a recent disappearance of a caravan in the canyon beneath.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Those would be the listings you would notice.
X, buddy.
Yeah.
You want to do any of these? I'm getting kind of bored.
You're getting kind of bored being in the city?
Shopping.
Oh, shopping. Yes. It does seem. Yeah. I don't know. Dangerous monsters, that doesn't sound. Just the two of us? I don't think we could pull that off.
Oh, I bet we could drag some of the others down. Maybe. Probably forcefully.
You probably could drag us forcefully.
Want the weird noble man and sheep thing?
If they have the time.
Well, I mean,
Let's go talk
sure.
it out with them, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
At
Pull
this
it
point,
out.
you would have likely found them at Gurk's if you wanted to speak with them.
All right.
I can't remember. Evangeline, are you here with us?
Yeah, me and Ray's. I'm just kind of sitting, not really doing much.
Watching.
Watching us
Watching.
like a creep.
Evangeline, would you make me a perception check, please? And Frey.
Okay.
A 15.
17.
17. Okay. You do notice that, like, outside the window, you do notice like several people move out of the way of someone that seems to be kind of walking past. You see a just kind of stepping with a little bit more authority than you would have kind of seen from most of the people here. A woman that appears to be wearing a black, kind of small brimmed hat of a pretty good fashion. They're wearing a kind of whitish bluish dress that you see, and a green coat, but their arms are outside of the armholes and it's just kind of draped back over the back of them like a cape. And you just kind of see as they walk past, you just kind of see her eyes kind of like flick and notice both of you as she just kind of passes. And you do notice immediately upon her kind of glancing over, you notice the dress first and kind of what she looked like. But as she looks over, you do notice that one of the things that catches your attention about this individual is there a white tiefling. And she just kind of, as kind of her eyes flick in and she sees you, she just kind of gives like a faint nod as she passes.
Would nod back.
Okay.
I know who that is. It's fine. Can I actually stand up and go talk to her?
Okay, yeah, you can step up. You can get up.
Okay, can I just kind of like fall in beside her and just kind of ask?
Okay, so
her
really
things?
quick, I want to ask you because I want to make sure you're not confused. Who do you think this is?
This is a fairy quill.
This is not. This is
This
a
is not?
tiefling.
Ah, okay, never mind. It's not very quill. Then I will just nod to them and sit there.
Okay. All right.
What color is
All right.
Viana currently?
Viana is currently a quite deep purple. And you are watching like a faint like drool is like dripping onto your like shoulder and is like going down. And it's like this gelatinous purple.
Nice. I put that in the back of my mind, but I don't know if I'd like go talk to her.
Okay, sounds good.
Did I recognize that person though?
Make me a history check.
Okay. Ten.
Okay. I you wouldn't. The uniform that she's wearing, you wouldn't normally recognize it as a uniform, but the way it's particularly worn, and you did notice a small pendant up on kind of her upper chest. Um, you would notice it's a uniform. You do not know where it's from though. But yeah, you've
Okay.
never seen her before.
Then yeah, she would probably be interested. So can she just get up and kind of follow him?
Sure. Are you trying to follow discreetly?
Oh no, she just kind of wants to like catch up and talk to him.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Um, so you're just trying to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then yeah, you as you kind of walk, you do notice that there is next to her there's are two individuals. One of them is um a quite hulking metal-ear man with right around Frey's height of right around 9 feet, and you can see that strapped along his back is a great sword that like yeah, it's meant for splitting skulls. It's more of a bludgeoning weapon than a slashing weapon.
Okay.
And he's wearing a similar uniform, but of you can tell that he's more subservient to her, whoever this woman is. The other individual is a fairly live-looking, younger, seems to be elven woman that's kind of walking with her. Similar uniform and everything, just does not have appear to have any visible weapons.
Okay.
Um,
Can I just like come up beside him and kind of get their attention?
Yeah. As you walk up beside, you notice the woman kind of glance over and she says, "Ah, sorry, I believe we are outpacing you." And she kind of stops and you watches the two people next to her kind of like step to the side and just kind of watch the people around. You do notice that the woman, the elf woman, she has kind of reddish hair, and you can see that there is a scar that kind of goes down from the side, right, the tip of her temple up here, and down, and it
Mm-hmm.
cuts across her lip. Um, and she's kind of looking at. You can tell that she eyes you up and down, like judging for weapons, things like that. She clocks your guns,
Mm-hmm.
and she like you can tell she kind of surveys you quickly.
Okay.
And the but the tiefling woman, she says, um, I believe that we've not met before. My name is Darsa, and she holds out a hand. You watch as
Okay.
before she does, she says, "Ah, sorry, my manners," and she removes her glove and then holds out her hand.
She would like to just kind of bow and be like, "I'm sorry, I won't be removing my glove, but it's nice to meet you."
Of course, we all have our own reasons. May I ask for your inquiry and why you are so interested?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. It might seem strange that I just came up on you like this, but I wasn't sure who you are. I noticed your pendant, and that seemed familiar, some kind of uniform. I'm just wondering if you could tell me who you were. I might need some help
Um,
with something.
yes. I am a member of the it slipped my mind for a moment. Can you remember? And she kind of turns towards the elven woman who's next to her, who looks over and says, "Yes, the uh, the uh, Tannic regional squad, ma'am." And she turns back, "Yes, of course, the Tannic regional squad. Um, yes, my name is Darsa, um, Darsa Remlia."
Okay. Did that seem like a weird way how she couldn't remember where she was from? Like who she
Make an
was
insight
working
check.
with? 'Cause that's weird.
Make an insight check.
Oh, 17.
Okay. No, she just seemed like she just kind of had a momentary couldn't remember.
Hmm. Okay. Um, and might I ask what you're doing here? Is there something specific you were after, or?
Yes, I'm in town on business. Was hoping to particularly uh, gain some influence and hopefully some services from the Warburers. I believe that one of their daughters is here.
Perfect. And Warburers, who is that? Is that Frey?
No,
No, that is-
no. This is
well, we don't know.
you would know
I don't
Warburer
know who that
is. You do know who the Warburers are.
Yeah.
Ladine Warburer is Umberon's betrothed.
Ah, okay, that's why it sounded familiar. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I am friends with their daughter, Ladine. Is there something that you hear specifically from them?
Oh, I'm simply in the area for a business. I am actually looking to gain a shipment of their particular of some of their more powerful gems to my to one of my subsidiary factories a little bit to the south.
Okay. All right.
And hopefully from there it would then be transferred to my particular state in Tannic.
Okay. I'm sorry for wasting your time, but I was just interested.
No waste at all. It is very nice to meet a fellow person. I don't believe I caught your name.
Oh yes, Evangeline Serafina.
Evangeline. Seraphina. I'll remember that. Thank you. It is truly nice to meet you. And I'd like you to just really quick make me a perception check.
Yes, she doesn't like these people at all. Mm-mm. No, no. Oh, that's really good. Perception?
Mhm.
21.
21. Okay. You would have noticed that just as you were kind of clocking her, she clocked you. Like, and you can tell that just from your experience of being around nobility,
Mm-hmm.
this woman from your immediate clock of her is your superior, not in a noble status, but in a her just ability
Mm-hmm.
within noble circles is just she's definitely your superior when it comes to doing what she wants and getting what she wants.
Okay. Okay. And did I recognize her last name?
No, you would not.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. She'll just kind of like say her farewells, and then does she know where Ladine is staying? Like, would she know?
No, you hadn't asked, so you would not know where Ladine is. You would know she's in the city because actually, I don't know if you would know if Ladine's in the city. I don't think that. Did you actually hear when Umberon was talking about her?
I don't know if I was there. I can't remember.
I
Okay,
don't think you would.
That was
Yeah,
at
I
my
don't think
parents'
you
house,
would.
so you wouldn't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I was
So
there.
I don't
Unless you're
think you even
stalking
know
me.
she's in the city. Yeah.
Okay.
You would get the guess that she's in the city based on what that woman just said.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Then would I know that Umberon is betrothed to her? Because I know his dad really well.
Yeah, you would probably know.
Okay, I'm going to find Umberon.
Okay.
We're still at works, probably.
Yeah,
I
I'm
should
just
go back.
reading a book right now.
They're all reading books.
Mhm.
Frey
guys,
and I.
Are you guys
Frey is
cheating
like stamping up and down, like all nervous, trying to like figure out how to ask you guys something.
Are you guys cheating this Gurk ogre guy out of his money?
No, I
He's
already
reading it
bought the
in
book.
the library.
I already bought the book.
I'm deliberating whether or not this book is a worthwhile investment.
You're one of those people. Oh my god.
Is this in the library?
You say that about everything I say.
This is
It
not.
has
Although I
to
would like to
be
make
in
sure
the
Ramus doesn't straight up
library.
steal his book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just puts it in his back pocket and walks away. So without even thinking about it, obviously.
Obviously, you know the usual.
Dexter, do you want to hunt, or X? Do you want to hunt ghosts or monsters, or a caravan?
Well, okay. So our options were to find the missing caravan,
Mm-hmm.
to find to either find or deal with the source of the dangerous monsters. coming from the mines, or to find out if there are ghosts actually appearing in the market square.
Yep. The other thing, just to really quick add to that, if you did the mines, any information that you found on a particular bandage ghoul that disappeared would be useful.
Oh, yes. Bandage
What?
ghoul. That sounds
Bandage ghoul.
horrifying. I don't like that.
So bandage ghouls, they're the blood hunters that are the bad omens. They're called bandage ghouls.
Yes.
That's right. I remember saying that's something. Yep, it clicked.
Yep. So you would know that that's what they're asking for.
My vote. I say we leave the monsters for now and do either the ghost hunting or the caravan tracking.
Again, Frey, ghost hunting is a strong word. All that paper said is that we need to determine whether there are ghosts or are not ghosts.
Are you discussing this with us?
I mean, we're probably
Out loud.
yeah, we're out.
so
we're
you are
we're
right
speaking
there.
out loud.
You
Yeah,
think
we're
Frey
in the
has a
building.
whisper voice?
That's fair.
Frey doesn't
Frey
even
only
know how
has
to
one
read.
volume, and it is Scream.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
if
well, I
you
won't say
wanted to
anything out
take us-
loud.
Sorry, continue.
Oh, I was gonna say, but I will maybe try to urge you in the direction of the ghost one, and see if you
Okay, like-
respond at all. Empathic.
Oh, in pack. You're trying to make us feel like ghosts.
Will not feel like ghosts, but feel like maybe like checking out the ghost one.
I mean, that's the one I'm leaning
You
towards
guys are all
anyways.
freaking diabolical.
I was
Okay.
already leaning towards ghosts.
I have
because
a good
that's the
reason
least
for
dangerous.
doing that one. Is
Yeah,
why.
a date.
But
What, do you have a date with someone? Huh?
you don't
It
know that.
means he doesn't have to leave town.
Well, as long as you can promise that there is no combat of
You will rue the day when Frey
Other
finds
than
out that you've been
creatures.
manipulating his emotions. You will rue
No, it's not a manipulation of your
It is
emotions.
manipulation.
No, you can tell that it's coming from someone else.
You just
I
can
can't
tell
change
that
how you
someone
think.
else.
Am I that intelligent?
That's true. You actually probably do think it's your own
That's-
emotions.
That's a fair point.
Go ahead, Wesley.
Ghost
you were saying
hunting
something.
sounds easy, I guess.
Yeah, Wesley, you were saying something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, as long as there's no fighting of intelligent people, if that can't be avoided, I'd rather not go. But as long as there isn't, then I'll be happy to go.
Have I gone into the room yet, Casey?
Into this room? Yeah, you'd be here.
Okay.
Ramos is in reading mode. He's not catching any of this.
Perfect.
Okay, can I just kind of like put a hand on Umbron's shoulder and just be like where you're sitting and just say, I'm sorry to bother you, but I know that you're betrothed to Ladine. She and I are at least closer acquaintances. I'm not sure if she sees me as a friend as I see her, but those people I just went to talk to, they seemed rather suspicious, and she was their target of sorts. They were going to talk to her, but I'm not sure if that's what their goal is. Do you know where she might be?
Do I know where she would be outside of like where we're gonna meet up later?
The position she gave you to meet is actually like a place that you can stay. So she could be there.
Okay. Well, I'll mention that, I guess, but I have no reason to believe that she would be there right now.
Okay. I will be going to that spot now. I'm not sure if you want to come with me or, but just in case she's there.
Of course, I would love to accompany you. Anything to ensure Lady Ladine's safety.
Ah, true love. Not letting your betrothed get assassinated by weird people.
Oh yes, the truest of love.
They never mentioned assassination. You're the
there's-
one that's got the assassination contract.
There's heavy suspicion there. I don't like those people.
Angeline is more suspicious than these people.
Have you ever
I
met
may
a
ask.
person you're not suspicious of?
Yeah. You guys. She's not suspicious of you guys. She knows that some of you are weird, but what?
You're literally
NPC,
watching us.
Yeah,
not
she's not
your
suspicious of him.
character. Not one of us.
Wait, I'm confused. Are you what?
She
Have
wasn't
you ever met
suspicious
an
of the
NPC
ogre.
that you're not suspicious of?
She wasn't
Yeah.
suspicious of the store owner that sold
Yeah.
her the throwing knives and the belt.
I've met plenty of people where I'm like, no. Like her
Just-
whole village people, she's not suspicious of them.
All right.
Okay.
So you two are leaving to the wherever you're meeting your betrothed.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Just so you guys know, if you were going to check out the ghost one a little bit more, you do need to wait for night, is when that one is supposed to be done.
Hmm.
Did the others seem like they could be completed before then?
Yeah. The other ones can be done at any time.
Well, but like we would be done with them before night, or
You don't know. It doesn't give like none of them give like, oh, it'll take 20 minutes. It's basically it's up to your interpretation.
yeah. I mean, like based on previous assignments I've done as a bounty hunter, like can I tell basically how long they're gonna take?
Well, neither of the other two is like a cut and dry, get this person and get out. They
Yeah.
have conditions. Like one of them is like find out what happened to this caravan, and the other is like go down to the mines, figure out what's going on, and if you can, stop it.
Yeah. I don't think we can before night, but we could do other things, I guess.
Were we not in the mines at one point in time?
Not these ones.
That was
These are the
in-
Oh,
That was
okay.
Dungeon Bathroom.
Okay. Well, I'm not so certain that they were under Bosham. I'm pretty sure
That's
that
fair.
they were not as close to Bosham as we thought we were.
Well, it was through the mines that we got to the teleportation circle, which is what threw us
Uh-huh.
very far off.
And that the teleportation circle wasn't going to take us very far. And now we're an entire city away from Bosham.
We traveled a whole day to get here from where we were teleported.
Well, yes, but this was the closest city.
Yeah, it was the closest large settlement.
Since Bosham was now gone.
Yeah, Thedon is actually surface area and population bigger than Bosham. Because Bosham was a spire. It held like it was a beautiful city and everything like that, and all these other things, but population wise, it wasn't as big as Thedon.
Alrighty. So what's the plan?
I think Umberon and I are gone.
Yeah,
don't
we're
think we're there.
gone. Do whatever you want. You don't even have to do the ghost one anymore. I'm gone.
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 They left. They disappeared.
Yeah, Ramus, you looked up and like Umberon is just gone.
Like Evangeline came and whispered in Umberon's ear, and then they both stood up and left.
In retrospect, it's very sus.
How long would it take to get to the bottom of the canyon?
It wouldn't take you long to get to the bottom of the canyon. It is quite
Especially if you
an
jumped.
area you would need to search down there, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking of taking like a preliminary look around. Probably coming back up before nighttime to do the ghost hunting, but going down and looking around while I can.
Well, it's before noon, so if we go down and we spend about 8-ish hours, It'd start getting dark, so
Well, do we have to report to somebody to say like, hey, we're gonna stay up the night and watch for ghosts?
probably.
Yes, so there is someone you would need to inform that you would like to take up the task.
Okay. Well, we should probably go do that first.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah. The individual it tells you to visit. Let me see if I think I have their name here, just so I can get it real quick. Okay. Oh yeah. So you're supposed to talk to you're supposed to talk to Bowyer, who is the owner of the Full Quiver. Is who you're supposed to talk to about this.
Have I been to Thedon before?
You would have, yeah.
Do I know where the full quiver is?
Yeah, it's pretty close to where you guys are. Most of the shops are in this general area.
Yeah.
The actual like market of this particular city is on what's been named the market shelf, and it's a particular shelf of rock that sticks out quite far, and allows all of the market stalls to be on it.
That doesn't seem dangerous at all.
Yeah.
Let's head to the full quiver.
Okay.
Totally safe. There's railings.
Well, like the Full Quiver isn't on the market shelf. Okay. So as we'll go with these guys if you guys are okay. Evangeline and Number on. We'll go with these guys first.
Yeah,
Are
go
you
ahead.
guys grabbing Ramis? Because if you're not specifically grabbing him, he's not going to notice you're leaving.
I think we just left.
Yeah, this is a personal matter for me. Sorry, Remus.
I think
Oh.
I would tap on your shoulder.
She's more talking
Ramus.
about us.
Yeah. I think
I
I would
would
tap
have
on
to
your
if you wanna
shoulder and
come.
be like,
You know,
I think
notice
we
how
are going somewhere. Would you like to come with us?
Oh, sure.
I'm
Number
already
on?
outside the
Yeah,
store.
there we go.
I'm already outside the store because I know what's about to happen.
Okay.
I'll be like, have you already purchased your book?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I think you're supposed to purchase the books before you leave the store.
Is this not a library?
I don't know. Let's go and ask him.
If you don't ask, you can't say no.
I mean, guess that's
This is why
true.
I'm outside the store so that I don't get arrested.
I think Ramus told us he was a wizard, but he's actually just full blown rogue.
Yeah, arcane trickster.
So Frey and Sarah, you guys are outside, and like you can see these two like having the conversation inside, like through a small window, and you can like look and these two haven't noticed this at this point because their passive perception is a little too low, but you can actually see like the ogre is like totally picked up on their conversation. You see he's pulled a big old club and set it on the table, and just watching them from over there.
Yep.
I'll turn around to look at him, and I'll be like, so is there a renting period or anything? Or do we just buy them?
Purchase only.
Purchase only. So I think you do have to buy it,
Well-
Ramus.
What's that saying you guys say? The how what do you say when you want to like buy something?
You say, I want to purchase this.
Okay.
I think.
I want to purchase this.
Okay.
He kind of cocks his head at the confused question and is like, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at him also confused.
And he says, he kind of like, you actually see he like gets up and like stomps around all hunched around from behind the desk and like takes the book from you and walks over and he sits back down and looks at it. And then he like sets it down and he says, 4 silver.
How? Okay, what does that mean?
So there's these little coins that you may or may not have, and the silver ones are 4 silver. Do you need help? Do you have any?
I mean, I have these gold ones. He
Oh,
pulls
these
out
gold-
a handful of gold coins.
I think those would work. I think you could get a refund of the extra money that would be.
Oh,
So
okay. He
10
takes out 4 of
silver.
the, he takes out 4 gold and just places it on the counter.
I'll pick up the
What was
3
that,
and
right?
give it back to Ramis. I'm like, okay, so
But
10
you said there
silver.
were 4. You said
I said, I know. I said 10 silver turns into 1 gold piece in money currency standpoints. So 1 gold is worth 10 silver. So maybe he could give you back 6 silver, perhaps, and that would cover your charges. And I'll look at him and be like, "Is that all right?"
He's watching this whole thing like, I've met someone dumber than I am, and like he like reaches he reaches under and like he pulls out something and he quickly exchanges it and he has to count out. He's like 1, 2, and he like counts out the 6
No.
silver and gives it to you.
To
Like,
think.
so now this is yours to keep, and now
I
you
thought
get
it-
now
was
you
it
own
not
the book.
already?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. But it
No,
was in my hand.
the book was in your hands, but it wasn't technically yours. You were basically borrowing it. Does that make any sense?
I mean,
I guess
I
not.
would just give it back
Don't worry
eventually.
about it. You can keep it now.
Just
This is your
realizing
6
now
silver.
that
Let's go.
Umberon has entirely avoided this whole situation by just walking behind Ramus and paying for things that Ramus has taken.
And this whole time, Ravis has had actually a decent amount of money.
It's Umberon's fault that Ramus doesn't know how to spend money.
Yeah, that's what we're finding out right now. So
And then
it's
I'm gonna
all
look at
Umberon.
Ramis and I'm gonna be like, okay, the next time you think something is yours and we're in a store, how about you come and talk to me and we can see if we can figure this out.
Okay. Still somewhat confuses me, but I think I'm starting to get it. All right.
Right.
Where did we want to go? Where were we going?
I think our party members are still standing outside. I hope they know where
Yeah,
we're
they're
going.
currently just watching through the window.
Baffled.
Just gonna walk out.
To the
I
full
bought
quiver
something.
we go.
Okay.
Yes.
I am proud of you, sheep boy.
I love that I called him a sheep thing earlier.
That is wonderful. Okay.
Disconnected from the world.
Yes. All right. Going.
Beautiful.
It's a short distance, and you're able to make your way to the full quiver. As you step inside, you can see that currently sitting on the floor, and using her hands to she's currently seems to be adding feathers to the ends of several different arrows. You see a centaur with the lower half of a polar bear is currently there. And she's currently just attaching these, and she looks up and says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Ghosts?
I. That's when I would step up and be like, we saw a notice on one of the boards around town saying that you were looking for a group of people to double check that there may or may not be ghosts in the market shelf.
Yeah, that was me. I'm kind of just the so-called people bring their problems to me person, and so they bring it, and so I'm offering a little bit of gold so people stop talking to me, that just to see if anybody will figure out what's going on. So if you figure out what's going on, I'll pay you each 2 gold. Everybody involved.
That's 20
Okay.
silver, right?
That is 20 silver. Yes, good job.
Don't pay attention to them. They're
I'm gonna give Ramus a hand five.
Yeah.
Woo!
we'll see what we can do, and then I'm gonna usher them out of the store.
Okay. If there were any ghosts as you're kind of stepping out, she says, like, if there were any ghosts, and you notice anything, if you could if you can bring me any sort of evidence that they were there, would be great. If they're them ghosts that people just see and nothing is left behind, well then, whatever. I'll pay you each 1 copper if that's the story you bring me.
Quick question. How colorful, on a scale of 1 to 10, how colorful were the feathers she was using?
She was using currently they're like yellow, like parakeet feathers.
Could I possibly roll a sleight of hand to just grab one with my tail as we're leaving?
Sure, yeah. Roll me a sleight of hand.
Tail?
Oh.
17.
17.
Boy.
You grab a
I
feather,
see that.
and you're stepping through the door, like yes, yes. As suddenly an arrow just into the door next to you, piercing the feather there, and the woman's just like, that would be mine. If you'd leave my stuff here, that would be great.
Umberon, I blame you.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were using it.
Lady, that was cool. And it is your feather. But if you shoot another one of your arrows at my friends ever again,
I'll
this
shoot you
store
next
will be
too.
under
Get out of my
new
shop.
management.
Get out. We're not gonna get paid for this job. We can't do this job anymore. I
This
can't.
job. He's an idiot, says the idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see like she's fully eyeing you at this point, Frey. Like this full look of like, keep pushing me and see what happens.
He could have asked nicely.
Okay, so from now on, I do the talking. Nobody else talks. The only people that are allowed to accept the jobs are, so far, Evangeline, Umberon, and I.
They only took you.
Because you seem to make enemies of the people that are hiring us, and if they're our enemy, they will not pay us for doing said job.
Hey, she's already an enemy. She fired an arrow at that chief boy.
She had a right to fire that arrow. Maybe not the
would've-
arrow. She
She had
should
the
have.
right to ask for it back.
She should have asked for it back,
I'm
and I
much
don't
re-
appreciate the violence that she showed.
I very much
No,
rather.
it was very pretty, but you shouldn't try and take stuff that
very much
is
rather
pretty
that she did
that
that
isn't yours.
than we all get arrested and put in jail because Ramis wanted a feather.
Ramis did want a
Do
feather.
they have any laws in this town against arson?
More than
Um,
likely.
Almost
Yes,
assuredly.
fairly
Let's not
certain
burn
there
anything
are laws
down.
against arson.
How about we put this down, we go do this job, and then we come back? Does that sound decent? Let's just forget it. We could just leave her be. It's already happened.
I'm now the recon. I go and I find out what the job wants by myself.
That might be for the best.
Stepping out, like as you guys are kind of like having this argument out there, you actually like watches like as Bowyer is her name. She goes up and you watch as she like yanks the arrow out and like takes the feather and she just like as she like goes back inside.
Directly at Ramis.
Ramis is like on the verge of tears. I just wanted the feather.
Maybe we should find Umberon and return Ramis to Umberon. Umberon knows how to handle Ramis.
It's true.
Okay.
Ramis is just a color of her personality.
Is Viana red?
That's a way
Right
to
now?
describe that.
Yes.
No. Viana currently is like a electric blue.
Dang it.
You thought she went off of emotions?
No. I just wanted her to be red so she could burn the freaking house down.
Oh my gosh! Okay, go. We have another place to be.
Yeah, quickly shoving them out into the street. You guys continue onward. You would
It was a pretty good move too. Dang it.
yeah, it was a good roll, but you should know shopkeepers tend to have high perception.
It's a feather.
Yes.
A feather.
That
You don't
is
know how expensive
vitally
that
important
feather.
to her trade.
That feather could be really expensive too. Maybe those
Yeah,
are
she's
special arrows.
Yeah, she's a
Buying arrows
Fletcher,
from
so
everything again.
yeah, she's a Fletcher, so the feathers are important.
I'd like to spread rumors about her flat feathers being bad.
Okay. Every time you do this, everybody just kind of looks at you like you're insane.
Good.
Like
I
one
don't
of them,
think
one of the
Frey
people
realizes.
actually, yeah, one of the people you actually say this to, they're like, "Have you ever even tried her arrows at all?"
Yes.
Make a
They
deception
weren't
check.
even that good.
Make a deception.
I have used her arrows before.
No, you haven't used
I've
hers.
been here.
You've not used her
I've
arrows.
been here. I would have bought arrows.
You can buy arrows from many different
Okay.
places.
So are you willing to say that some of the best arrows you've ever used are bad because she shot an arrow?
Apparently, I am because that was a nat 1 on deception.
Perfect. Okay. You say this, and
So
they all just kind of
technically -1.
yeah. The guy kind of like looks at you and says, "So you made him mad?"
No, well, she made me mad.
Yeah, but you made her mad.
No, that sheep over there did.
Okay, so it's just one of those situations again. This happens a lot.
I guess.
Okay, just get out of here, and you just like keep walking.
Why is everyone telling me to get out of here?
From his bag and is just holding it.
Okay. At this
I'm
point,
leaving this town. We're going into the canyon. This town is dumb.
Nice.
This town is in a
Before
canyon.
before
No,
we
up the
decide what Frey will do because of this particular encounter, we'll transition to Evangeline and
This is what happens when common sense leaves us behind.
Yeah, you guys are not allowed to leave the party anymore because I can't handle the
Okay.
both of them.
You can't do it alone.
I can't
You better
handle
tell
both
us
of them.
this story after we get back.
Oh,
We're
I
below
definitely
ratio.
will be letting Umberon know about our encounter.
Tell
Okay.
the rich boy he's rich.
And
Well,
Well,
also,
at least Ramus has learned that 10 silver means it's equivalent to 1 gold.
He has
That's-
learned this.
This is progress.
Okay.
I think we're just on our way to that place they're meeting.
Okay, perfect. As you are kind of you arrive at the particular building that you were to kind of meet at. It is a it's interesting because the front of it appears to be a tailor's shop that's named Drapes. It's just simply named Drapes. It seems to be a tailor's shop. The back of it, however, seems to be a kind of a suite that people will rent. And it's not like amazing, but it has like a business room, like a kind of like a sitting room where business dealings can be made, and that seems to be where Ladine has decided to stay. So as you kind of arrive, there is an entrance around the side. As you guys kind of arrive, is one of you kind of like knocking on the door or anything? Okay.
I would.
Okay. Knocking on the door, you hear some shuffling for a second, and then the door opens, and you see, kind of poking their head out, a slightly nervous-looking gnome. Kind of glances out and says, "Yes, you need something?"
Is this the suite that I just knocked on the door of the suite, or is it like
Yes,
the shop place?
of the suite. Yes.
Sweet.
Oh.
Okay. I would like to just kind of like bow to them respectfully and then ask. I'm not sure if Ladine Warborar is here. she's renting out this suite at least later. I'm not sure if she's here now.
Yes, she's rented this out. She's currently here. Yes.
We are friends of hers, and this is Umberon Farliar. He is her betrothed.
Oh, of course. Um, I'm terribly sorry. She's currently in a business meeting. I can't let you in right now.
And can you tell me who is with her in the business meeting by chance?
Uh, yes. Darsa Remlia.
Okay. And was this pre-set up, this meeting?
Yes. It's been set for 7 months.
Okay. And can you tell me where, like, what organization they're from? Darsha is.
Um, well, she's from something to do with Tannic. And she also the specific business that she's here for is uh Remlia Jewelers.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry to waste your time, but if anything seems off, I think we'll be nearby.
Okay. Have a nice day. I'll let Miss know that you were here.
Thank you.
And she just kind of like shuts the door, and as you guys kind of leave.
Okay, I'll like turn to you, Amaran, and be like, I'm sorry, that must have been some. I'm not sure, they just seemed so strange to me when I was talking to them in the alley, but
What in particular made you suspicious of them?
I don't know. For some reason, she couldn't remember what organization she was from, and she had to look to
Hmm.
one of her bodyguards, I think, with her, or at least business partners, and they reminded her. It was strange. And they were
And
very heavily armored as well. They had weapons on them.
Evangeline, just to give you this to you, you would notice that um, the the elf woman with the scar on her lip
Mm-hmm.
is currently in the alleyway. Not like the alleyway that you guys are in, really. It's not exactly an alleyway. In like the street that you guys are currently in, that kind of goes a little bit into the mountainside. Um, she is there, and you do notice that she's kind of like clocked you and is watching you from over there.
Okay. And I just kind of want to like motion to her like very discreetly, so like kind of like with my eyes, so I'm not looking at her, but to Amaran and be like, that is one of them.
Yeah, your covered eyes that he can't see.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Then I'll just be like a slight nod. I'm like, I'm motioning, Amaran. Why can't you see what I'm pointing at with my eyeballs?
Yeah,
I always
Umberon,
forget.
eventually she gets the point across to you, and you do glance over. You do see the elven woman sitting over there. She has her hair back in kind of a ponytail. It's a reddish, kind of a dirty red, kind of a colored hair, and you do see the scar that goes from her temple over her lip.
And do I see like the massive metal ear man anywhere?
No, you don't currently see him.
And with them, that was her, as well as Darsha, the woman who's speaking with your betrothed, Ladine, at the moment. And there was a metal ear man who looked a lot like Frey. He was 9 feet tall like him, and he had a great sword on his back. I'm not sure where he is.
is it possible to ritual cast things while walking?
It would depend on what you were ritual casting.
I would like to, if possible, while we were walking to this building, I would have liked to have ritual cast detect poison or disease.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll allow you to do that. As you're walking, so I believe it. What's the radius on that you can sense it?
30 feet. So I would like to be as close to like the door as possible.
Do you have to be able to see the object?
Uh, no, it just says within 30 feet. Unless based on like the thickness of the walls, there's certain like things I can and can't see through.
But the door was
Okay.
open when we were talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
unless
okay, then I would say that the elven woman that you can see, who's kind of over there a little bit off from you, you can see that um, in her kind of like basically her suit pocket up here, you can see that there is a faint poison coming from there. And when the door was open, you did get a sense of a poison inside.
Evangeline also has poison.
Yeah,
Hi
can
there.
I
Evangeline
sense
does also
that
have poison.
poison?
Oh yeah, the 1 month thing. I do have poison.
Yeah, you would
Forgot
notice that
about
there is
that.
a poison on her.
Yes.
I would say that the poison though on her barely gives off an aura, if anything. Like it would be almost undetectable. But I'll say you clocked it, but it's an almost undetectable.
Okay. Are you gonna tell her that you can detect that, or are you just gonna do stuff?
I'm not gonna mention the fact that I sense poison on you,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna mention the other two, and specifically, I'm concerned about the poison inside and
Yeah.
what to do about that.
Is there windows into the office anywhere, Casey?
You can see windows around. They don't go particularly right into this. You can see that there's a window into like another kind of bedroom. The curtains are currently open, and you can see that there is another window kind of as you go around the building. This particular building is set into the wall, and there's kind of an alleyway that goes around it. And you can actually see that there is another window that seems to go in on a kind of a almost like a little kitchenette kind of an area.
Like,
But there doesn't seem to be one into the business room.
okay, so there was a bedroom next to the business room, you said?
You don't know exactly where the business room is in the suite. You just have simply seen these two rooms.
Okay.
Hmm. How wide is the suite?
From just kind of going, you would get a better sense if you were to go in the shop, but your sense of it is it's probably around. It's probably maybe like I don't know. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's probably right around the size of like maybe a grocery store, not a grocery store. Sorry, a like a convenience store. It'll be around the full size of it. It's fairly small.
Can I tell where specifically the poison is?
No, you simply opened the door and got the sense of it somewhere in there, and you could hear. And I would say Evangeline, simply because you have a slightly higher past perception, you would have been able to hear faintly voices
When the
inside.
door was open? Or
When the door was
like
open.
even when it was closed?
When the door was
When
open.
it was open. Okay.
Yes.
I have a question. Does unseen
Mhm.
servant, can I hear through my unseen servant or no?
No, it's not like Find Familiar.
But I could use unseen servant to like distract somebody though. Do you
Yeah.
have like spells that you can get in there with, Umberon?
I don't have any spells for movement.
Okay, can I I'm gonna ask you, Umberon, did you see where the poison was on her? Like the woman standing in the alley?
Did I? I think you did say, but
Yeah, it's in her upper
it's in like
pocket.
her pocket, right?
Yeah, as you guys are talking about this, you do notice that the woman is like following you.
Yeah.
Like
I would
she's not
expect that.
particularly being discreet, but she is like following you, and she's definitely watching you, like eyeing you specifically, especially because she saw you earlier,
Mm-hmm.
Evangeline.
Okay. Umberon, I might have a way to get this woman off of us. I could either walk ahead and then split up with me, or I could use unseen servant and distract her somehow.
All right, and then how do we get into the house?
I'm not sure. I could use unseen servant there, but if I was distracting her, I wouldn't be with you then. But I'm not sure. I can't see or hear through my unseen servant, so I can just have him move.
Well, as long as you are close enough to me, I can communicate to you
Okay.
without our enemies hearing my messages.
Okay. Then is there any ideas you have of how we can at least listen into the conversation?
Mm, I mean, this doesn't solve that problem, but one random thing I might as well try. I would like to cast Divine Sense.
Okay, yeah. So divine sense, remind me of what it reveals to you, please.
The location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet. I know what type they are, but I don't know like specifically who they are.
Yeah. You would get a very faint celestial from inside the building. More towards the
Interesting.
front of the building.
Like
They're
in the
not-
tailor shop part or the suite?
You haven't been in the tailor shop. You don't know how far it goes back, but it could be.
Okay.
Then we could just go in the tailor shop and see if we can hear through the wall.
It's true.
Or is there some kind of message that Ladine would understand from you? You could alert her, and then maybe she could, but that could put her in more danger if they send
I would need to
something
know where
wrong.
she is.
And you'd be able to need to see her if you were planning Pathic.
Yeah.
I think our best bet is to try and go back. It will be suspicious to this woman following if I went back with you, so I'll go ahead, and then you can try and blend into the crowd and work your way back, and I'll meet you there.
Wait, back where?
To the tailor shop.
Oh, I thought we were still just
You're
like
still
right
right
outside
around
of
the
it.
tailor shop.
We are? Oh, I
Okay.
thought we
Yeah,
were
you're
like
still like right
away.
next to it.
Okay.
When I said like I wanted to cast something while walking, I meant on the way here, so it was prepared by the time we got here.
Okay. Yeah, I could walk off because she will probably follow me, at least for a distance. And then she wouldn't notice you enter the room or the building either.
All right. If things go south, do you think you could discreetly take care of any problems with our elven friend?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we're splitting. So I
Okay.
think, did you want us discreetly go back towards the tailor shop? That's what I was thinking. And then I would keep walking so the red-haired girl kept more sight on me.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. If you are trying to discreetly slip away, give me a stealth check, please.
Can I give him advantage by using Unseen Servant to like bump into her?
Yeah, sure. I'll give him advantage. That's fine.
14.
Okay, I'm just going to roll for her. All right. You are able to kind of get off, you slip in the crowd from what you know. You seems to have worked. Evangeline, you do notice the woman is still following you. You do notice. Make me a perception check, please.
Let's see. 17.
17. Okay. One of her hands that's kind of down at her side as she's walking, is currently running a ring around a small stone in her hand.
Do I understand what that is? Like any magical anything? No?
The only thing you would know that it might be is a sending stone, but she would need to speak into it for it to work.
Okay. 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 I'm just gonna like kind of keep an eye on her, but like keep Unseen Servant kind of following her, so I
Okay.
can like distract her if I need to.
I just want to ask what the speed of Unseen Servant is.
Oh, I don't know. Let me check. I have it pulled up here.
I think it's a decent speed. I think it's at least 30, but I don't know.
Let's see. You can mentally command the servant to move up to 15 feet and interact with an object, and that's for a turn or a bonus action.
Okay, so you're moving. I think it can keep up since you're basically just walking.
Yeah.
So I think we're okay.
And I'm gonna try and like kind of like get into a crowd somewhere and then try and
Mhm.
like duck into an alley and have the unseen servant like really distract her. So like grab her and try and throw her to the ground or at least like ram into her.
Okay. Make me a stealth check.
Oh,
And then I
actually,
want you to.
oh, I don't know, because that's so suspicious. Okay, can I like go into a crowd and then have the unseen servant kind of like follow somebody else and then like discreetly like bump into her and like as if it was somebody else, like an actual person in the crowd?
Okay, so I want you to make me a stealth check and an Arcana check to see how well your servant does.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll her perception.
Okay. Stealth is a 19 and Arcana is a natural 20 plus 3. So 23.
Okay. So as you're going, you kind of step into this crowd. You know, you just as a reminder, you're wearing full black clothing. You're very recognizable.
Yes.
But you step inside and are quickly able to kind of sidestep into an alleyway as you are trying to use your servant as deftly as you can. You mentally force it to lunge to the side and it slams into somebody. That person kind of falls over. He's like, "Hey, what the heck?" As they like fall over into the woman.
Mhm.
The other woman just kind of stumbles, and you see like she kind of like at the person on the ground, who's kind of fallen into her. Kind of seems to be mad at him and looks up, but does not seem to see you.
Okay. And can I like go through the back alley to like go back to the tailor shop like from behind?
Yes. Just roll me a quick investigation check. It should be fair. This is a low DC. You should be able to find it,
Mhm.
but if you roll really low, you won't be able to find your way back through this.
What was the check?
Investigation.
Oh yeah. That is 23 again. I have a very
Okay.
high
Yeah.
investigation now.
Yeah. So you're able to make it back to the tailor shop. At this point, Umberon, you've stepped inside the tailor shop, or are you outside?
Yeah, I would like to go inside and go to the wall that would be connected to the suite and see if I can get a better sense of where the poison is.
Okay. I will say that you can't detect poison through that wall.
Okay. Uh, what is the wall made out of?
This particular wall seems to be made out of a thick stone.
Okay, because if it's more than 1 foot of stone, you're right. I can't.
Yeah,
It doesn't work through it.
it's so this wall seems to be like a thick layer of stone. It seems to be made specifically so that whatever's on the other side can't be heard through.
Mm.
Because
So
this is for business dealings.
yeah, presumably the room is on the other side of this wall then.
You can see that as you're in the tailor shop on the far right, you can in fact see that like there's a human man who seems to be in charge of the tailor shop who kind of clocked you as you walked in. But on the far side, like to the back right of the shop, you can see there's a door that seems to go back into that area. You don't know if it's just more the tailor shop or actually goes into the suite, but you can see there is a door.
All right, I'd like to go investigate the door.
Okay. I will tell you just before you kind of go for it. It is behind his counter.
I guess I will ask him. Sir, do you know if does that door there connect to the suite next to the shop?
Why it does, yes. It's it has two doors actually. They're just kind of back to back there. The one can be locked from that side, one can be locked from this side.
And does that connect directly into the room for conducting business? I have a meeting here later today with one Ladine Warbearer.
Yeah, Miss Ladine is yeah, she's supposed to be here. That's who's renting out the suite currently. It's good to supplement to my income. It would, I believe, lead directly into that business room. There's a reason there's the two doors there to make sure that I can't hear through and they can't hear any of the shotguns on unless we're shouting.
If I may ask, how large is this room?
You're asking him or you're asking
Yes.
him about the business room?
Yes.
Okay. Business room? I wouldn't say any more than like 20 feet.
Hmm. By looking at the door, is it obvious that they're locked?
This side does not appear to be locked, but he did tell you there's a door on the other side.
Hmm.
So there's two doors basically facing each other. But this
Does
door
he have
does
any
not.
poison on him?
No. Like, I guess he has, like, you can see that sitting around, like, there's some different, like, chemicals that you could be considered poison that, like, he uses in his business, but nothing, like, overtly, like, a poison on him.
I would like to use my pathic to impress upon him my sense of urgency and explain to him that I have reason to believe that Lady Warbear is in danger. If you let me through, I can make it well worth your while. You will be able to receive a lot more business from both her and me in the future.
Make me a persuasion check, please.
Oh boy.
Evangeline, I would say that around this point, you're basically getting to the front of the shop.
Okay, can I not go to the front and stay in the alley and try and like parkour my way up to the roof as silently as possible?
There's not a roof. It's
There's
in
not a
the
roof?
wall. It's like, literally, imagine it's a cliff face, you've shoved it into the wall.
Okay. Okay, can I kind of like peek out and like see if the red-haired girl followed anywhere?
Make me a perception check. And a stealth if you would like to not be seen.
So that is a 10 for perception and then another nat 20 for stealth. So
Okay.
27. Not 27. 23.
Okay. Glancing out, you do see the woman. She's not particularly trying to be stealthy. She's kind of like, you in fact like see her kind of like push a guy into one of the walls, like, ugh. She kind of is walking that way. She does not seem to see you.
Okay. Can I use that nat 20 to get into the tailor shop?
Yeah, sure.
I'd love to do
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, you're in the tailor shop. You can see Umberon is there talking to the man at the front. And what was that persuasion roll, please?
It is a 19.
Okay. Now, I can understand your sincerity, but how much are we talking here? Like, if this could really compromise my business if I were to allow someone just back there, because I run a reputable business both up here in the tailor shop and back there.
Well, it wouldn't look very good for your business if someone were to die in your shop, now would it?
No,
And I will also slide him 10 gold.
He looks at it. You see him like discreetly take it and kind of shovel it off into something, and he says, "Fine." And he lifts up kind of a little partition of wood there, and he allows you over to the door. He says, "It's locked." Well, like it's unlocked. Sorry, like, it's unlocked. You have access to the door.
All right, I would like to go in.
Okay. You open the door again. As he said, there's a door immediately right there. You can hear voices through it. You can in fact hear Ladine through the door. As for the door, are you trying the handle?
Yeah, I'll try to discreetly see if it's locked.
Yeah, as you kind of grab it and kind of jiggle it, you can tell that it is currently locked.
Okay. Can I sense the poison through the door?
Yes, you can. It's in this room.
Okay. So can I tell where in the room? I believe the spell does say I do.
It gives a general direction, right?
It says the location, the
Okay,
presence
yeah.
and location of poisons.
Then it would be so basically directly in front of you, and then it would be about 10 feet in front of you, and then directly to the left about another 10 feet.
All right, I would like to cast Purify, Food, and Drink in that location. I don't believe I need to see it. It just says range of 10 feet. All non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius is removed of all poison and disease.
Okay. You immediately cast this. You really quick. Does it have verbal and somatic components?
It does.
Okay. If you would like to be discreet with this from anybody in the shop or anything, I would like you to roll me a sleight of hand.
Okay.
Evangeline, you are seeing this, so if you think you would clock him casting a spell, you're welcome to give him advantage.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, with advantage, that is a dirty 20.
Okay. You cast a spell. From you, Evangeline, who I assume at this point is kind of watching everybody in the shop, kind of keeping an eye out. You don't see anybody notice anything out of the ordinary besides someone being like, kind of, why is that guy behind the counter? But you cast this, the poison effect seems to disappear. I believe your divine sense, how long does it last? 10 minutes?
Detect poison does, but divine sense only lasts a turn.
Okay, then it would be gone by now. Okay. I was just going to, if it was still up, I was going to tell you where the celestial presence was coming from.
Well, I mean, actually, I'll go ahead and cast it again.
Okay. The celestial presence is coming from that room from basically the same spot the poison was. It's a very faint celestial.
And I do need to see for.
Evangeline, I will tell you that you can see like the tailor is a little antsy. Like, not like you can tell that it's more over the fact that it's just is kind of awkward having another person behind the counter, especially just like standing there at that door.
Okay. Yeah, can I just like walk up to him and just kind of be like, I'm sorry. That's my friend over there, but he is betrothed to Lady Warberer. So you can understand his you can understand his degree of concern.
Yeah, I can understand. Sure.
And what was your name? I'm sorry we barged your shop so unannounced.
Oh, name's Torin. Torin.
Okay. And how long have you been running this shop? I'm just like trying to make small talk with him to get him to calm down.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Umbra, we'll go to you. We'll just kind of say this small talk is happening.
Yeah.
All right. I will, as casually as possible, just knock on the door as if I had no reason to suspect anything was going on the other side.
Okay. You knock on the door. The voices kind of like stop for a second. Then you do hear kind of one of the voices pick up. What you're hearing through the door is mostly muffled, but you can hear it a little bit. So you do hear something for the other end, and then you hear kind of an unlocking noise, and then the door kind of opens, and you see the same little gnome girl, who's kind of looking through. She says, "Yes, hi."
Can I see Ladine and the person she's with?
You can see, yes, through the crack in the door that's kind of been created above the gnome's head. You can see that there are two kind of sofas across from each other with a small coffee table in between that seems to have drinks on it. The location of the poison, from what you can see, appears to be on a white tiefling woman who currently is kind of leaned back, and you can see that her eyes are currently kind of like basically just looking directly at you. Like she just kind of like, there's nothing overtly sinister over the look. It's just kind of a curiosity of like, you interrupted a business meeting and she's just kind of looking. And you can see Ladine you can see Ladine's face is kind of leaned around. Like she wouldn't normally be able to be seen, but she's kind of leaned around in her chair to look and see you.
All right. As soon as I can see her, I would like to use Pathic to communicate to her a sense of danger.
Okay. So you kind of send this really quick. Pathic, is it just mental? Like even from
technically,
you?
it's emotional.
Yes, but like there's no outward sign.
Yeah, nobody can tell that I'm speaking it.
Okay. So you kind of send this. You watch as her face kind of like furrows a little bit, like part confusion and part worry.
And
As she
I
kind
would
of
have explained this ability to her beforehand,
yeah,
so she would
but
know
like
it's coming from me.
yeah, she would know, but it's still kind of a slight confusion.
Mhm.
And she kind of says she turns to Darsa, who's there, and says, "If you'll excuse me, I'll be right back. I'm gonna really quick just see what's going on, and I'll be right back." And you watch Darsa just kind of lean back again and say, "No problem at all. I look forward to continuing this uh, deal, and hopefully this interruption won't be too long." And Ladine kind of stands up and nods, and then steps to. She kind of steps up to the door, and she kind of opens it and steps through and kind of shuts the door. And she kind of leans forward and says, "What?" And she clocks you, Evangeline, also, and just kind of gives a small wave.
Yeah, she'll just kind of like.
Well, first of all, I will loudly say, my apologies, milady. I was under the impression that we had an appointment, but it appears I was mistaken about the time.
You can see, like, she's by no means dumb. She's in fact quite intelligent from what you know, and she immediately clocks onto what you're trying to do. And she says, "Yes, of course. It was a little bit of strange from my message to you was a little bit off as well. Um, would it? Did you need something as of right now?"
Um,
And you can see, like, she's looking at you, and you can actually see, like, actually, I'd love for both of you to roll me perception checks really quick.
14.
14.
2.
2. Nice. Yeah, you don't notice much. Evangeline, you do notice, like, almost a faint shimmering from, like, right around her ankles. Like, almost as if something's coming out from her, like, suit coat leggings.
Okay, can I kind of like investigate that with my eyeballs a little more because they're hidden? They can tell.
Yeah, make me another perception check.
Gosh. That is a 9. Not very good.
Okay. You can make out that it's like a smoke almost.
Does it look like she's creating it, or is it kind of suspicious? Like that's not supposed to be there.
You can't tell it just is coming out from there. It seems to disappear almost immediately, like upon like kind of leaving her pant leg. It seems to just disappear. Like you
Okay.
can barely see it.
Okay. I'm not sure if it works both ways, but would I have known that you, Umberon, can do that emotional thingy?
I haven't
You haven't really
explained it to you,
told
but I
it.
think I've used it on you.
Yeah, I think you've used
Actually,
it once.
I would say
Actually, I don't
specifically
know.
for planning for this, and I did
Yeah.
tell you I could communicate to you non-verbally, I would have explained
Oh
it
yeah.
to you.
Okay. But I'm not sure if it works both ways, but she's gonna try and like kind of like will like emotionally be like there's something you need to ask her about, like something urgent that's just, like she's trying to hint at. So how whatever emotion that is, I don't know.
Am I able to pick up on any of that?
I think you would get the sense that someone's trying to communicate to you, and you would know if it was Evangeline. But I don't. Emotions aren't as clear coming back.
Uh-huh.
So I think you would just get the sense that someone's trying to communicate with you, and you would know it was Evangeline.
Okay,
Okay.
can I just kind of like sidestep and just tell like the guy at the counter, I can't remember, is it Torin or
Yeah, Torin.
Torin? Okay, I'm gonna be like, just keep talking to me, it's okay, like really quietly, and then just be like, this is kind of a secret stealth mission, I'm sorry. Then just kind of like walk over while I'm still talking to him, and just kind of like look, like motion down so Umberon can see me, like out of the corner of his eye to her ankles. It's a
Okay.
really
Just so you
awkward
know,
experience.
Ladine can see you in full view.
Yeah, I know she can, but Umberon didn't catch on to the ankle thing, so she's trying to
Okay.
alert him of that.
Because I keep my eyes up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Umberon, you would clock this. Do you want to like? Yeah. What are you doing about that?
First I'm gonna take care of the poison situation, and then I'll maybe see about that.
Okay. So continue your
So
conversation.
again, I will first loudly say, and then I'm going to transition to being quiet. I'm going to say, well, regardless of my blunder, it's great to see you. And I'm going to go in for an embrace.
Okay.
And while I do that, I'm going to whisper, I have reason to believe that an attempt has been made to poison you. I have purified the poison, but be careful.
Okay. She so like she embraces you. It's kind of a stiff, like she's not quite sure what to do. And as soon as you kind of say this, you kind of feel her stiffen a little bit, and you actually feel like on your back shoulder blade, you feel like her hand kind of like grip slightly onto kind of your suit coat almost, and then let go as she kind of leans back, and you can see like in her eyes a like a thank you basically, um, but not but she doesn't say anything about it.
Mhm.
And she says, yes, of course. In fact, it might, you might be interested in meeting this particular individual if you would like to stay for our particular business dealing.
Well, of course, I would be very interested if he would have me despite my apparent rudeness.
Yes, of course, she would be very interested to meet someone of your particular station. Evangeline, um, I would love to catch up at some point.
Oh, thank you.
Uh, as for right now, she kind of like looks at you, and she just kind of how best to do this.
She would kind of like shake her head when she said her name, like, no, don't say my name. She knows my name, you know?
Yeah. So she's just kind of nods, and then she kind of turns and she says, "Well, then follow me." Um, and she kind of steps and opens the door and steps back into the room, and she says, "So sorry about that. It was a particular um, an old friend kind of stepping in, and this is in fact my business partner here. This is Umbra." As she just kind of gestures in your direction.
I will do my most flourishing bow. And,
Okay.
I'm very pleased to meet you. I greatly apologize for the circumstances under which it happened. It appears I was an hour or two off on when our business meeting was supposed to be.
No problems. No problems. You see her kind of like lean back, and she just seems pretty much perfectly at home. Just kind of where she's sitting and lean back. Um, you see as she kind of turns and says, "My dear, if you would please bring us more. There are more mouse here, so if you would please bring us more of those particular. I believe they were biscuits. That would be great." You see the gnome girl just kind of nod, and she runs off into the other room, and then and so she seems to be gone for now. You do notice that sitting in a chair in the back of the room is a very large metalier man, likely the one that Evangeline alluded to before. Um, as for just a description for you of this particular individual, it is a white tiefling, which is incredibly unusual. And you can see that her eyes are actually like the irises are like a faint blue, almost like ice. Um, and she's just kind of leaned back at this point. You can see that her coat, what Evangeline would have seen before, is currently off and over the back of kind of the sofa, and she's just kind of there in almost like a lavender-ish kind of a dress, kind of a almost light blue lavender almost color. And she currently, you can see that on top of the coat is sitting a gun belt, and in the gun belt you can see there are about 4 knives that are set around where the small of her back would be. And you can see that she just kind of smiles, and she kind of picks up a glass and says, "Well, it's nice to meet you, if you would." And she kind of gestures to the sofa in front of her, and she takes a sip and then sets it down. And the dean kind of steps over, and she just kind of gives you a look and then sits down.
I'll go sit beside her.
Okay. She you watch as Darsa just kind of looks at you both and says, and kind of like turns her attention to Ladine. After you can see that she definitely gives you an eye up and down. She immediately clocks your sword. You can tell that. But other than that, it's just kind of a quick up down, checking out what you might have on you, things like that. And then she kind of just turns back to Ladine and says, "Well, I believe we were in the middle of a business transaction. I assume because he's your business partner that he is welcome to be here at this moment." And Dean says, "Yes, he's quite welcome to be here. As of what we were talking about of a particular jewel um, shipment being sent from here, I believe you wanted it sent to Ormouth, and then from there along the coast to Tannic. Yes, that would be what I would prefer. Though there are other ports that could be used. Ormouth is just simply the most reputable. Yeah, of course, I can arrange that. As for the shipment of particularly magical gems, I can't just send that with anyone, but I can get the shipment to you. It will simply take longer. It will take far more months than I assume you would prefer for it to be there. Of course, I was under the impression that your particular business was able to move magical gems quickly, but that makes sense with the current times. How about, do you have a particular adventuring group that you work with that could transport these particular gems? I don't as of right now. As for the particular, there are groups I know of that could transport this, but I do not have any currently that would be able to transport these particular gems. You're not asking for too many, so it wouldn't be a burden for any group. It's only a case, so it wouldn't be hard to transport. But it is. I don't know of one particularly now, anyway. Of course. Do you, Umberon, know of any particular groups that would be able to transport magical gems from here all the way to Ormouth?
In terms of trade routes, I'm not as well versed as Lady Warbear here. However, if protection is required given the magical and valuable nature of the shipment, myself and my compatriots, I believe, are quite capable in a fight should the need arise, and we would gladly accompany the shipment if needed.
Interesting. I am. TC, you said that the only people able to make business dealings were Evangeline, Umberon, and you. You've put this on your own head.
You gave me permission.
It was supposed to be like a group decision type thing. They don't know I said that.
I mean, you guys can say no, but
It's more important.
Yeah. Interesting. If you are as capable as you seem to believe so, I have no problems with that. Do you, Lady Warborough? No, I am fairly happy with that particular dealing. One thing that does concern me, I would say, is the particular route that you are proposing goes directly next to the blizzard zone. Is there a particular reason for that? Yes, the particular gems that I would like you to transport from here that you trade in. I'm under the belief that a brief stint, if they were to be taken through the blizzard zone for even but a day, would gain a significant amount of power for the particular purposes that I would need them. So, if you would have, whether it be Umberon here or another group, to take them for a moment through the blizzard zone, it would greatly improve their value to me, and I will pay you 4 times the amount we've agreed upon. Interesting. That shouldn't be too hard. 1 day in the blizzard zone isn't too hard, especially with the correct equipment. I believe I can arrange that. I will try and arrange the particular group to take the gems, whether it be Umberon's group or another. I will figure that out. Was there anything else, Lady Darsa? As of this moment, I don't think so. I think we are fairly have reached an accord, and I believe that we should be able to begin our business dealings and start this fruitful partnership. I'll expect the first shipment, I believe from what you have said, by in about 4 months' time. Yes, that should be when the first shipment of gems should arrive. As for the magical gems, it could be longer, it could be shorter, depending on the particular journey that they will be taking. And especially as the particular gems that are not magical don't have to go through Ormouth. So I will work that out, if that is all right with you. Of course. Thank you for your particular insight and help with this particular business agreement. Oh, thank you, my darling. As you watch as the gnome girl comes in with the tray of kind of biscuits, kind of sets them on the table, and you watch as she just kind of reaches forward and grabs one. Darsa does and just kind of takes a bite and says, "The biscuits of Thedon are always a little bit different each time I come, but never bad by any means. Wouldn't you agree?" She says to the gnome girl, who kind of is like, "Yeah, I find them quite delicious." And the girl kind of like backs up to the corner, and you watch as she just continues eating, and then she picks up her glass and kind of drinks a little bit of wine and sets it back down.
Is detect poison still active?
Yes, she did not add any poison.
It's all
recipients
clean.
or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, all clean. Yeah, it all seems just fine. She kind of glances at you and says, "So, from my particular sources, I believe that the two of you are not just business partners, but betrothed, if I am correct."
Well, yes, your intel is quite impressive.
Thank you. It's quite a match, honestly. One that has even reached my ears in Tannic. A highly renowned young man, the son of both a Geohex warlock and a highly capable politician, and the daughter of one of the most prestigious merchant families in the entire world. Quite a match, honestly. I must commend you on your excellent decision, both of you.
Well, I do believe that I might be getting the better deal of the two of us. I appreciate your commendation.
Well, of course. And I believe it is always the man's right and maybe the man's duty to say that they are receiving the better end of the deal. But both of you seem to be getting a little bit of what could be useful. This particular group, Umberon, that you are a part of, I did not know that you were an adventurer of any sort.
Well, you see, it is quite a recent development. But in the past few days, getting here from Basham has been an adventure in and of itself, and I have seen their own combat prowess firsthand, and I'm quite confident in it.
Of course. And what a tragedy, Bosham. Such a monument, a great city, to be lost after so many years of standing for the just ingenuity of races outside of Tannic. It is incredible. But such a shame that it's gone at this point. I was only able to visit Bosham, I believe, only once. I was much younger then, but it was a beautiful city. From what I understand, from what I've heard, the city itself is gone. Am I correct there?
Yes, I've heard similar rumors.
Interesting. Well, that is unfortunate. I'd always wished to be there a little bit more, especially to see some of the particular architecture, the architect that is there that worked there. I knew him when he was still alive. It's been years since he died, but knew him when he was alive, and he was quite an eccentric man, but good at his particular trade. You came here with Evangeline, I believe.
Well, yes, she is one of those that I came here from there with.
Of course, the quite interesting. I met her in person just barely, but I've. It's interesting. Did you know about the particular situation below the veil?
No, quite frankly, I know almost nothing about Lady Evangeline.
The story's quite tragic. I heard about it from one of. Um, I spoke with one of her guards the other day. A man by the name of Trad. Um, spoke with
Brad!
spoke with
Brad!
spoke with him, and he told me the story of this particular event. It's awful, 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 especially with the death of her partner at that particular event. So sad. And now you're moving on to brighter topics. Your your mother, I believe, was just promoted in her particular station. Is that true?
Well, yes, I heard about it just this morning, in fact.
Very interesting. So wonderful. I've met Quentin multiple times. He's a character for sure, but good at his job. Well, I believe I have taken up enough of your time, Lady Wolverore. I really must be going. You're welcome to stay seated. She says as she stands up. She kind of brushes off her legs, and then you watch she grabs the gun belt and puts it on, and then kind of throws the cloak over, and she motions to the man at the side to kind of stand, and the two of them exit through the door to the suite, not into the tailor shop, but out into the alley. Okay. As of this point, it's you two.
All right.
Um,
I'd last.
I actually really sorry. 1 second. I was going to check what Evangeline. Your past perception is 12 right now. You probably would notice. You would honestly probably notice 13. Okay, then you would notice Darsa leaving. You would notice her like come out of the alley and go out onto the street. You would notice her leave.
Okay, does she notice me?
You'd watch as she go. You watch as kind of her. Are you still in the tailor shop?
Yeah, so I don't know if I'd see her.
Okay. There's windows. There's big open windows in
Ah,
front, so you would be
yeah.
able to see out. Yeah.
Okay.
You watch as she passes. You watch her kind of turn. Her eyes directly meet yours, and she just does a little bit of a bow, um, and a wave. And you watch as she pulls out like from basically a pocket a small card, and she kind of sticks it in the window, like in a little corner in the window, and then just kind of taps it, and then just kind of points at you with just this really nice, polite smile, and then turns and leaves.
She's just gonna kind of just like point at a gun and then be like over to her.
Okay, you do this. She you do notice she clocks it, but she just keeps a very nice, polite smile on her face.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll go take the card.
Okay. The card is simply an address. Um, it gives basically probably where this woman lives. Um, and it also written on it. You can see written on the back. Is it says, "Careful, little shadow. You never know who's listening."
I already know that. Shut up, lady. Don't like her.
Okay. Anything the two of you would like to do at this moment?
Um,
Oh, go for it.
I'll just like go knock on the door that you guys are in and just kind of like peek in and be like, "Did everything go okay?"
From a business sense, yes, it went great. As from a poison sense, I don't believe I've been poisoned, so I mean that's helpful.
That is good. Do you know why she would want to poison you?
No, and honestly, she did nothing overtly to poison anything. My Jula, and she points to she kind of gestures to the little gnome girl in the corner who, you can see that like now that the woman's left, she seems quite a bit more calm than she was before, and you can actually see that the she turns into the to Ladine and says, "Lady Ladine, I didn't see any there there I did detect the poison on her, though she never used it. And I also, from the thoughts she was having, none of them were overtly sinister. She seemed to be all right." And you watch as Ladine says, "Thank you. Now, come on in, Evangeline."
Yeah. I'll go like sit across from them.
Okay. So, you think you have an adventuring group that can take a case of magical gems across from here to Ormouth?
Well, it is
Um,
quite possible that they've accepted other work in our absence, of course. This is upon their availability, but personally, given the circumstances, I would feel much more comfortable being involved if possible.
yes, I would feel the same way. I have other reasons to go to Ormouth as well, and that would get us there.
Okay. Well, as I'm a bit stressed at this moment, I think we'll postpone our particular meeting on Baran and we'll meet tomorrow if that's all right. And
Of course.
I think that what we'll do is tomorrow, for today, if you want to talk with your particular friends and see their thoughts and inclinations towards this, and then we can discuss that, you and me, tomorrow. How about we meet here? And she kind of reaches down and she actually pulls from like one of her pockets a small like piece of paper, and she jots down on it. And she says, "Meet me here." And she hands it to you. It's directions to get to a specific area in the city um, for the tomorrow, and she's written on it dusk. But yeah, a little bit stressful. It's not every day that you get to meet with someone as well renowned in the merchant business as Darsa. Oh, well, I shall likely see you at least tomorrow on Baran, and then maybe I'll see each of you the next day and hand over the shipment, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And on Baran. Thank you. And she just kind of she stands up and just kind of like very politely and nicely kind of like lets you guys out. And she as the door is kind of shutting and the gnome girl is kind of like switched her spots and is kind of shutting the door, and she says, "Thank you." And she just kind of like gives each of you kind of a look. If and yeah, you can see like that she gives each of you kind of a look of both like eyeing you, but also like a slight respect. Um, and she shuts the door.
She does. Can I just like kind of bow to her and be like, "Thank you very much, Julia," and then, yeah.
Of course. Have a good day. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna look over at you, Umberon, and be like, "That was rather stressful, wouldn't you think?"
Yes, I shall forever be in your debt for alerting this man's nerd to my situation.
No, no, it's all right. It's what friends do.
Although I do wish we had more information on the matter. As is, we have no proof that any attempt was made to use the poison, only that it was on the merchant's person.
Okay. Yes, there's something about her that just doesn't feel right to me.
Notably, if it means anything to you, I could magically sense that she has some form of celestial aura about her. I don't know if that would have any bearing on the case.
Interesting. Would I know anything like about that? Like why that would be? No?
Both of you would know that like the fact that she's a white tiefling is just incredibly rare. In fact, almost unheard of. But as for like celestial origin or anything for it, you don't know. I mean, celestial could be involved with the reason she's this like whitish color, but you don't know.
Okay. I'm not quite sure, but that is something to consider, I suppose. Maybe we'll figure that out in the future. But did you want to meet up with everyone else and give them that proposal?
Yes, I do assume after recent events, surely they're all in need of work anyways. Sure, something can be arranged.
Yes, they are constantly bored, aren't they?
Yes, some of them cannot sit still or stand by while others are trying to read a book.
Okay, and then I'm down to just go back to everybody else.
Okay, so
Oh,
you
but we
go
don't know where
back
they
to you go
Oh,
back
that's
there.
true.
They're
They're like,
gone. They're straight up gone.
Oh, I would like to, while we're at the, was it Mercs?
No, Gurk. Gurks.
Gurk.
Yes. I was kind of in a hurry, so uncharacteristically of me, I didn't put the book back. I just put it on my chair. I'd like to go in and put the book back before. I would buy it, but I just spent all my gold, so.
Yeah. Okay. You put it back, and you see the ogre like as you're walking out, just kind of like big meaty hand, thumbs up as you walk out.
Okay, can I just like look over at you and be like, well, since they deserted us, they got too bored, I suppose. Are you a drinker?
Not typically, no.
Okay, then
I
would
do
you
not
like
think it wise to dull one's senses.
it usually doesn't dull mine, but
Hmm.
we can always just go get some food if you'd like.
Yes, that might be preferable.
Okay.
All right. Transitioning from you two, going to find some food. I'll just tell you really quick. The food would likely cost you not a lot. Probably if you're looking for just something casual, it'd probably be like 2 copper per meal.
Oh, okay.
As for the other 4 of you, we will transition to you guys. I believe. Did you guys say you were going down into the canyon, or what are you guys doing at this moment?
I was just saying if we have time before the ghost hunting, although Frey is less excited about the ghost hunting now.
Frey wasn't excited to begin with. Now Frey is even less so.
Frey afraid of ghosts?
No.
Frey hates the person that we're dealing with for the ghosts.
You
Did
hate them too. They shot an
I
arrow
know
at
that we
frickin'
are
Ramus.
hunting ghosts tonight?
What was that? Sorry?
Like, do I know? Did someone tell Ramus what the plan is? Or is he just accompanying you guys?
I don't know. I
Like,
mean,
he
Would-
didn't
they're.
tell
would
me
be the
we were ghost
plan?
hunting.
Would Ramus have been paying attention or more distracted by the bright yellow feathers?
He might have just. I'll roll a whiz save for him. Would it be?
Well,
Would it be a wisdom or wisdom check? Because those are 2 different modifiers.
Well, before we do this, I'm just realizing it's 6:15. We might as well just take a break here real quick since we're transitioning into kind of a new set of stuff. So we'll come back and we'll come back. But for now, we'll just we'll take a break here and we'll see everybody in just a little bit. Probably right around 10 minutes or so. So we'll take a quick 10-minute break and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right.
Okay, we're all on. Hopefully everything's working. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're jumping right back in. Jumping in with Sarixer, Frey, Ramus, and Restus, I believe. Go ahead, Ramus.
Me.
All right, I would like to say that if we are heading down or wherever we're going to next, Ramus is going up to Orestes and just pulling out random things from his bag and being like, "How much silver is this worth? How much gold is this worth?"
I have no idea. You'd have to get somebody more adept to look into it. But I'm sure
But
it's worth something to somebody.
I mean, I guess probably, but like I thought it was like a real simple conversion kind of thing. Like this is the pearl, it's worth this much stuff.
Oh,
And
no,
like
it's
that's what into the gold and the silver stuff.
money is very complicated. It's only easy when it's the same currency, you see? So that your currency, you have copper, silver, gold, and then platinum. Or yeah, platinum. And those four are easily interchangeable between each other as long as you have the right amount, and as long as somebody can break it down better. But other items of value tend to be a little bit more difficult to ascertain their wealth, if that makes
Wow.
sense.
We're still talking about money.
It's like the pine
Right.
needles.
It's like the pine needles.
Every episode needs
So-
a thing that derails us.
I do need to
How
really quickly cover
about-
this because I did realize we have one hole in our canon for sure that I do need to cover really quick. But it's not really a hole people would just expect it to be. None of you have high enough passive perception to notice where Tina went.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about her.
Tina,
Yes,
who's
so-
Tina?
She's the Drake Warden.
Oh,
Oh, that's right.
Your
If
best
you'd
friend,
said nothing, I
Casey?
would have
You were
never.
supposed to remember her.
you're right.
Not my best friend. The person that the Drake that died was my best friend. She was just.
She
I'd
was
probably
just
assume
there.
that
She was
she's
a
still in
whole.
the
She was
tavern
the
or
third
something.
wheel of the friendship. I see. How
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she just
Obviously.
chose not to come with us.
She was
Yeah,
more
she's like,
Frey's
this
friend
guy
than she was
sucks, and then
mine.
leave.
Well,
And none of you, I will tell you that none of you would have noticed her since the point you took the teleportation circle.
Man, I
Oh,
miss
that's
having an
when.
amazing perception.
My
That's
specialty is
when she
teleportation.
disappeared.
I did not just teleport her somewhere random, did I?
She's just
knows?
completely dead. Well, you just murdered her.
Yeah,
That
you
teleportation
straight up
is
killed her.
Banished
dead.
to the
Just,
shadow realm.
she got
She's okay.
splinched.
Okay.
And there's a limb somewhere in one of the mines.
Yes.
She's just split all over the continent,
Yeah, that'd
all
be
over the place.
horrible. I'll look at Ramus and be like, you can ask Umbron about it more later. I'm sure he knows a little bit more about money than I do.
So where are we heading?
That is a good question. That is the question.
If you guys are in any realm of going to find something to eat, you would probably run into Evangeline Umbra.
I mean, yeah, it's probably noon by now. It's probably
Yeah, it's like
lunchtime.
it's like 1 p.m. right now.
Probably should go find somewhere to eat, right? You're hungry.
Well, we
Looking
do
at
know where the
Frey.
tavern is. Oh, wait. We don't want to go to the tavern. No, let's go find somewhere to eat that's more built for
What's wrong with
food.
the tavern? I like the tavern.
Oh, it's great, but the food that's prepared there is questionable. It's food. It is food.
Okay.
I will
Well,
give
I'll
you
say
that.
as you guys are kind of looking around for places to eat, you would run into Evangeline Umbra. You guys are currently. I'd assume you either went. Did you go back to the inn, or did you just find somewhere to eat?
Seemed we like just found somewhere.
Okay. So basically, I'd say that there's some carts that you found and a place to sit nearby. You're just kind of sitting there, kind of looking out over the city. It's honestly beautiful during the day, especially looking out at the other side of the city and the ropes between. It's a fantastical, wonder-inspiring sight, especially with all the glinting glass and everything, and the metal and stuff. If there's any conversations you guys were having, you're welcome to do that really quick before we continue.
Umbra shot at me.
Someone shot you?
She tried.
What did you guys do?
She was making some arrows, and they had some really pretty feathers. And so I wanted one of the feathers, and so I tried to grab it. And then she shot it.
Did you try asking?
I was gonna.
It helps if you ask for something first before you take
But
it.
we were
The
leaving really
chances that people
quickly.
shoot
Like,
you are a lot
the
smaller.
character was pushing us out, and so I didn't have time.
Well, next time, just remember and see if it works better if you ask, okay?
Hmm.
I'm sorry that that happened to you, Ramus. Is there anything I can get you to eat?
Is there anything sweet?
Is there anything sweet that I would be like, Ramus would like that on the menu?
They do in this particular place. It's a specific kind of like cake that has
Mhm.
orange. Like oranges are used to make it.
Okay, yeah, I'll buy him one of those.
Okay. Okay. For that, it would probably be it'd probably be 3 copper because it's a specialty kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. You can try this, Ramus.
What is it?
It is is it a cake, you said?
Yeah. So it's basically like it's a cake that's like it's really small. It's like a little cake, almost like a cupcake, but a little bit flatter, and a little bit like wider. That's got like an orange cream on the top.
It is made with oranges. It's a cake.
Hmm. Like, how big is it in her hand?
In Evangeline's, like
Yeah.
so if Evangeline cupped both of her hands like this, it would sit within her hands.
All right, because like I'm quite a bit bigger than she is.
Mhm.
Yeah, but this is still a fairly large dessert.
Hmm. Thanks. Thank you.
And if you want any more of them, just let me know.
Hmm. He's just gonna eat it.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. It's almost kind of like the yeah, it's I don't know the best way to describe it, but it's almost like the chocolate oranges you get at Christmas, almost a taste. But also, if you've ever had like orange flavored cakes, kind of a mix of those two. Because I have had orange flavored cakes; they're really
Have
good.
any of this before? I mean, maybe. Do they have oranges in Tannic?
Oh no, I'm talking real life.
Yeah, but like, are there these kind of desserts in Tannic?
No, not this particular.
Huh.
I'd honestly say that oranges probably aren't very common in Tannic.
Yeah, probably not. And so he really likes this. He's just like, I've never had anything like this before. Wow.
You've now addicted a Furbolg to
Congrats.
a particular dessert
I love that. And Ramus, how did you meet Umberon? Did you just run across it?
I Well, it's a long story, kinda. I was running from a bunch of people, and then his mom kind of popped out, and she fought all the bad guys off, and she was really cool. And then she asked if I needed a place to stay, and then I said yes, and so we went back to her house, and then that is where I met Umberon.
Hey, I'm glad that you found somebody who was kind to you.
Hmm. She's really nice. Have you met her?
I have only met her in passing, but Umberon's father I know pretty well.
Hmm. He doesn't come home a lot.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Have we discussed whether me and Evangeline have met
We've
on like
we've
business stuff
met,
before?
but we
Like
haven't
I would think
actually.
yeah, I'd say you've met, but it's never been like a a big conversation. It's been more like almost passing. Evangeline, because of her position in Bosham, she would have met with your father often. The two of them were involved in like the workings of the city a lot. So you would have seen Evangeline, and you two would have like probably met and said hi and been acquaintances, but nothing to the extent of actually having a conversation. Okay, at this point, what are you all doing? Because
Right.
you can either go check out the canyon, or you can wait until dusk, or you can do whatever you'd like.
Oh, I'd like to just buy a meal as well. Like, I'll do they have a soup on the meal or something? Because soup
Yeah,
sounds pretty good to him.
yeah, there's several different like carts that are kind of sitting around. One of the carts, there's kind of just this big boiling pot of like stew that they're making. And the particular stew that you can see that's being made seems to be a like kind of like a probably is using something like rabbit or something in it. It smells good. It smells like almost like a potato-esque soup.
Right, great. Yeah, I'll ask how much just a bowl would be.
Yeah, it'll be a bowl. We'll just 2 copper. Sound
We should
reasonable?
make it
Perfect.
canon.
I'll throw him a silver and then just get a refund, I guess. But like,
Yeah, he'll give you
yeah,
the 8 back. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. What were you saying,
I
Ryan?
appreciate it.
We should make it canon since he got the super burnt steak that all his food is just severely burnt. Every time he goes for
Every
anything,
time,
No.
it's always
Either-
just burnt.
It's either undercooked or
Horrible.
burnt.
Burning
it's
stew
No.
is kind of
bad
impressive,
food.
honestly.
That's why I said undercooked or burnt.
Please no.
We would like to order a steak.
Okay. You look around. No one seems to be like making steak, but there is a place that's serving like a ham right now.
I was gonna ask if they have like kebabs.
Yeah, there is a place that's doing kebabs. Yeah.
I will head over with X.
Okay. The kebabs they seem to be made with like ham and some different like fruits. Seems to be mostly what it seems to be made of. So there's kind of like you can see that there's pineapple in there and some like kind of cooked orange and different meats and stuff in there and a couple like vegetables, kind of like bell peppers and things like that. The smell currently is really good where you guys are because this seems to be where most of the like food carts are. It smells amazing. Like pretty much any great smell you think they're all mixing right now. It smells amazing here.
The customers around here, what do they look like? Like more of the high class or the low class?
Here where you are, it seems to be a mix of a lot of things. You don't see a lot of really like high-born people here. You do see some. They're more on the younger side of the kind of higher class, but mostly it seems to be anything below seems to be here. There's poor people who are here that they're. You can see that several of like the shopkeepers kind of know them and will kind of give them a little bit of a discount sometimes and things like that.
Umbron, where did you guys go?
Mhm.
Oh, just to see an old friend.
Who?
Lady Warborough. I don't know that you would have
Oh.
heard of her.
I asked Casey earlier. I think I'd never met her, but I did hear of her.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, you've heard of her.
Mhm.
Probably just be from your incessant questioning of Umberon, you probably would have figured out that she exists.
Does she know what our
Well,
relationship
the
is,
lady
though?
isn't married?
It depends on would you have given that relationship?
Unless I'm like explicitly asked, and it's not like a question I need to lie to get out to, I wouldn't have brought it up. Probably
Okay.
like how she said in the thing, like we're business partners.
Oh. Okay. Just like, oh, I don't think I met her. Was she
Maybe
nice?
Yes, very,
That's good.
very
Anything cool
understanding
happen?
of the circumstances. Say again.
Anything cool happen?
Um, I saw another Metal That was
Oh,
a surprise.
one of the big ones?
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe even bigger than Frey.
Do you know of one bigger than you, Frank?
I'm at the kebab store.
Yell
He's
for
over there
Frost.
sulking over the fact that no one sells steak. Like he's standing over there like, frick, this is just such a small kebab for my immense
Not even
form.
for me. For Viana.
I mean,
Does Viana like the fruit? Or
yeah,
no?
Viana will eat it. Yeah, she doesn't seem to care.
Sweet. Awesome.
You do notice that she does seem to really like the oranges.
Now we're gonna have 2 addicts.
Are they
They're
common
quite
here in
tasty.
Besham? Or Besham?
Both.
Or were they common in Besham?
They would have been fairly they would be seasonal in Bosham.
Okay.
But yeah, they're not never seen. They're just kind of seasonal.
Can I just buy them here or?
Yeah, you can buy oranges. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As long as you're
well,
not
actually,
mixing them with pine needles.
I'd say that right here, where you are, this is more of kind of like a food cart area, because there are a lot of just kind of tables that are set around and things for people to eat at.
I just meant in
fact,
Thedon, but yeah.
Yeah, like in Thedon, like in the market where you guys are planning to go tonight, there's places that would sell oranges.
Right.
But as for just to tell you guys where you are, you can see out over the main city, but it's basically a part that's actually there's also a piece of this area that you're in that's been hollowed into the mountain. And there's glowing stones that have been placed in the ceiling almost like stars.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. But at this point, I believe it's your choice of what you would like to do.
I do have a meeting.
Sorry, continue.
Right.
What'd you say there, Kirian?
I do have a meeting tonight. So, if we're gonna go hunting ghosts, I'd like to do that after my meeting.
That's right. You have a sneaky meeting with the wizard.
Are you gonna tell us you have a meeting?
I told you immediately after. I'm gonna learn some magic.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, but would you have told him when?
I mean, probably not off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't think I realized that you have a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of I get to learn some magic. Magic's cool, kind of vibes is what I got.
That was kind of the vibe. And so, if we're discussing stuff right now, then that is something that he would probably bring up if we're discussing plans.
What time and what place is this apparent meeting you have?
Back at the Harpies hideout place. She said that it was at closing, and then I asked one of the kids, and the kids said closing was at 9, so I'm thinking around 9.
All right then. And why are you going to a store after it's closed?
Because that's when she told me to come meet her to go learn magic.
All right, interesting.
So, if you guys are kind of busy at that point, I can go alone. It's fine.
I'd be okay with going with you if you would want a.
You want to? Do you want to learn some magic with me?
Sure, why not?
I
Yeah.
think you don't mind.
Nah, and at the very least, I can just play music if she does mind.
Mm-hmm.
Good training music, I guess. Yeah. Anybody else want to come with me and Ramus?
I suppose I can go. It would be interesting to see what kind of magic she does.
Is the shopkeeper going to be perturbed at all if all of us
Oh,
show
I'm
up
sure
to
it'll
this
be
meeting?
fine.
It will probably be fine. Honestly, she seemed like a pretty smart individual that I feel like this would be expected.
This is the same lady who like was obviously very annoyed with Ramus, right?
Yes, it is very much the same person.
Did you want to go train?
What do you mean by that?
No, I'm not
I
saying. I'm
mean-
saying that above game.
Above game,
Oh,
yeah.
yes,
So
it
it's
was.
probably best that
I would
some of
never
us
say
go
that out
with
loud in
Ram.
front of Ramus.
I mean, is the Harpies hideout near where we're supposed to be for the
Oh, that's
to
a
see
decent
the
point.
ghosts?
No, you would need to cross the bridges. It's on the other
Okay.
side of the city.
Oh
Oh,
well, then
right.
if
So we
you
can't do
three are
both.
going,
Well,
yeah, if
you
you
can
three
like the
are
ghosts. Like the thing is, you have to realize is that the sun sets after 9.
Oh, right. So we could go to the Harpies, and then if the ghost
Yeah.
hasn't appeared yet,
They're-
I
or
like,
guess
you
if
can
she's
whatever,
easily
okay with it,
do
we
that.
might as
meet
well
them.
all go to the Harpies.
Sure, it'll
If
be
you
a
guys
group
want to.
thing.
But
I don't know that all of us should go.
yeah, you
I,
guys could go check out the ghosts or something, and we
Well, I
could
don't think
go.
the two events are mutually exclusive.
No, I don't think so either.
The question is,
But
do we still want to take on this job? It sounds like you didn't have the greatest experience with the quest giver.
Scary.
I think she was okay. It was just
So
unnecessary
we
violence.
may have not. Most of us. But I mean, it's still getting paid to do it.
I'm gonna watch for the ghosts.
so I guess we could split into two groups. So the three of you, Ramus, Orestes, and Umbron, you could go learn magic, and then the three of us, Bray, Sarixer, and myself, could go look for ghosts, and then we could meet up back at the inn.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
Very well then.
DM, I have a question.
Yeah.
Would any of these noble names be familiar to me?
Which names?
The ones in the party.
Oh,
At least the ones that I know names
okay.
of.
Yeah, so you likely would have heard of Farliar. You likely would have heard of Umberon's surname simply because I think it would be more either because of the influence of his father or the fact that his father and mother are a couple. It's just
Okay.
interesting as one of them is Geohex. You definitely would have heard of Evangeline. Not of her parents, but of her, because of specific events related to her as of recent years.
Backstory?
Yeah.
Okay.
You probably can't see me raise my hand. I just realized that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're like,
Is there a temple to the Iron Griever here?
There is a temple. There don't seem to be specific temples here, but there is a like generalized one here.
While they go and we don't have anything else to do, if we can visit the temple.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Okay, give me one moment. Need to really quick make sure. Got the right place here. Okay, yeah. So there is a so kind of while they're talking or while they're like kind of what's the idea here? I didn't catch that part, sorry.
Just when we split off, not like while they're talking. Like I'll stick around
Yeah.
for that, but like when we split off, if there is a temple, I'm not gonna be like I'll just ask if anyone minds if we go. They don't even have to come with me, but I do want to go visit the temple.
Okay. Yeah, if any of you would like to, you're welcome to.
I don't mind going with you.
No. I'm used to it.
What
Okay.
time is it currently?
Right now, as of like this moment, it's like 2 p.m.
Okay, so we got at
Like
least 7 hours to go.
Mm-hmm. We can all go. I've only been inside like a few temples before. I haven't been inside this temple.
And he's been kicked out of all of them.
You're stealing everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
find like
mean,
gentlemen's clubs are usually
Is
like quite nicer to
Yeah.
me, at least.
is there like a
Maybe
religious
it's-
district that all these temples would be together?
No, it's a single building.
And is that for all the different gods?
Yeah,
Okay.
so every god is represented. So most most places and most cities will represent every god in some aspect. Some of them will have specific temples to a specific one, or to a couple, but most of them tend to have like a generalized one. At least in Mindani. Okay, so you want to head in that direction, I believe?
Yeah.
we have got nothing else to do, so
Okay.
7 hours of temple time.
that's a
Yeah.
long time. That's a long time.
Okay. Heading in that direction, the building as you approach it, it's attached to the main, like, kind of market and kind of business area of the city you guys have already been in, where the Harpy's Hideaway and such is. Um, the
Oh, we're
specific
nearby.
building, as you're approaching, sticking out um, from the particular side of the wall of the canyon, is a immense building that goes. It's attached by a small shelf that goes down, and in fact, there's a walkway that you can go around it, and gardens have been built and everything. And it rises up in the sky, and you can see on it all of the symbols to each of the different gods, including a recent one that you can see, Frey, that is to the Iron Reaver.
Perfect.
You can tell quite immediately upon kind of approaching the like the entrance that there are people of many different religions here. You can see them wearing pendants to different religions and such. You can as you enter into the main foyer of this area, there are sitting around you can see 8 different like basically doorways, and above each doorway is placed a symbol of each of the different gods, and you can actually see that standing in front of each of them there seems to be clerics or paladins of each that are standing there.
I'd like to head my way towards the Iron Griever's chamber.
Okay. Yeah. As you're kind of headed in that direction, you can see the liquid going into a single drop symbol above the doorway, and you can see that kind of standing in front of the doorway, and kind of not directly in front, but off to the sides, there are um, 2 Metalier. One of them seems to be a woman. She is of your particular subrace. She is right around 9 feet, maybe about an inch shorter than you. Another one you can see is a Kopira man who is just kind of standing there with his arms kind of resting down, and each of them. Oh, okay. And each of them is just kind of eyeing you, not in any bad way or anything, but and both of them are kind of smiling as you approach. The woman, as you approach, says, "A fellow worshiper of the Iron Graver?"
That I am.
Very well. Welcome in. Come on in. And she just kind of gestures to the side. Um, the As you enter in, it's a small hallway that enters in and then opens up into a large chamber, almost with a large dome over in front of it. Inside, you can see that around are placed small, little holy statues and things to the Iron Griever side around, and there's one large one that sits at the center. The current, you can see that that particular statue seems to be under construction by a particular, what appears to be a particular metalier woman who she's interesting. She's around your height, but is a little bit more. She just seems a little bit frustrated, I guess, with currently what she's up to.
Do you need any help, sister?
She turns around. She says, "Oh, no. I am just trying to get the visage right. It's hard when there is no particular description of the god that you are trying to depict."
It would be hard to draw a face without a face.
Yep, it can be, but I'm getting along. Should be done soon. We'll see, but thanks for your suggestion. Here for just a little bit of worship, or here for some healing? What are you here for?
I am here for, I guess you could call it worship in a way.
Yes, I guess you can call. I've heard quite a few people call many different things worship, so I guess to each their own. Sorry, but I do need to get back to this. So I'll leave you to it.
Absolutely.
She just kind of turns back, and you see her begin like chiseling, and you can see that she's working on a face. From what you can tell, the face that you see is interesting. What she's seeming to be making is a very it's a face of kind of molten tears coming down from the half of the face she's finished, like these molten tears coming out of the eyes, and you can actually see like scars on the face.
Is anyone else, like, did anyone follow me in, or do you all just chill in the main temple area?
I wanted to just go into a random one.
Okay, roll me a d8.
Amazing. That'll be a 1.
Okay. You would have walked into the Life Givers area.
Cool.
As you
The
walk
one
in
that I
above,
had looking from.
yes. Above the doorway there, it's a tree that appears to have light shining back from behind it. In fact, they've made kind of a window there with some sort of light coming from behind. You can see as you enter in, there are other symbols that are sitting around. And in the center, there is standing there. It appears to be a like a young, thin-looking woman in like a simple shirt and trousers, kind of a statue of her just kind of leaning forward towards whoever's like close, and she's cupping in her hands a like a small flower that seems to be in constant bloom.
Does the tree look anything like the tree of the one that I'm used to?
Of the symbol of the life giver you have?
No, not the symbol of the life giver I have. The symbol of the family.
Oh, maybe a tiny bit.
All right. Does the flower look guarded?
Does the flower look what?
Guarded.
Guarded? No, it's just there growing.
Can I try to pick it?
Yeah.
No.
So you walk up and you just kind of pull it out, and as soon as you do, another flower sprouts and begins growing.
Oh, infinite
Oh, no.
flowers!
Oh,
And you
no.
watch as kind of stepping up next to you is kind of a kind of like younger man who says they say that the flowers that come from the life givers' shrines give healing properties to those who drink a tea made from them.
Healing properties? What kind?
Um, some
Healing
say
ones.
that they can even restore one to life.
How do you make this? How do you make that tea?
Oh, from what I understand, it's simply made with one of these flowers and made into a tea of sorts, and the one who died drinks it and they come back to life, is the story I've heard.
That's a really cool story. I'm gonna take like 10 of the flowers.
Okay. He kind of watches
And
you, and rather than like being annoyed, you can see him just kind of like smile as you do this.
how does a
Flower is
dead
gonna
person
kill
drink
us.
tea?
What'd you say there, Kyrian?
How does a dead person drink tea?
The real questions.
And you can see like a slight bit of concern has started coming over his face. And he's like, usually it's just poured into their mouth.
So you just like dig them up and then you open the mouth and you pour it in?
I wouldn't suggest grave digging. And please don't mention me in regards if you're ever caught grave digging.
I don't even know your name, so you're totally fine.
Yes, and I think
But
I'm
are
not
there
going to
any
give
bodies
it
around
at this
that I
point.
could try this out on?
What did you say there?
Are there any bodies around that I could try this out on?
I
Like,
am going to say
if this actually
no.
works, why don't we just do this with everyone?
So I can't recommend that, but you're welcome to go over. And he like points out, like you don't clock this, Ramus, because you're not quite people intelligent enough to clock it. But anyone close enough of your friends would obviously notice that he's just kind of trying to get rid of you before this becomes really awkward. And he like points, he's like, you could go try it over in the grave carers area over there. And he points, and you can see over there one of the other areas.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you. He's gonna kind of bow like he's seen Evangeline do quite a few times and then go head over there.
Yeah, you head off. Any of the rest of you who are watching, you just see him like look at the flowers and then like look at Rames's back as he's leaving. He's just like, ooh, okay. Just kind of goes back to his day.
Umbron, we need a leash. You need to leash Rames.
I need
One of
some
those, like,
silver dust so I
monkey
can perform
backpacks.
some burial rites.
Are you here looking for silver dust? Because we did talk about that.
Yeah, I would like to talk to either, was it Lawbringer or the Change Giver? I guess they're both here.
Yeah, so all of the different gods are
Law
represented
Reacher
here. So do you
and the
want to go to the Change Weaver or the Law Reacher first?
You said the Law Reacher was one of the ones that Ladine also worshipped, right?
Yes.
Then I'll go ahead and go to that one.
Okay. As you're heading to that area, the symbol above the door is of a tower, standing just tall and straight and proud with a spear in front of it. As you step in, you can see the visage of an armored man. The armor like blazing is standing there with their hands over a hammer that goes down and kind of sits there, and the face kind of a grim, almost a kind of grim expression is there.
Wait, did you say that was a man or a statue?
It's the statue, but it's of a man.
Oh, okay. So is there not a person in here?
No, there are people. There are like clerics and such that are in here.
Oh, okay. I guess first I'll go over and observe the statue.
Okay. Getting close to the statue, you can actually see like it's interesting as you get close to the statue because you can actually feel a divine energy coming off of it. And specifically from the hammer, which you can see the hammer is not part of the statue, it's something else entirely. The hammer is like for a 12-foot tall person.
Wow.
But it's but it's like from what you can see of it, it's made of like a pure metal, like probably made of platinum. Um, and it's just yeah, it's you can sense a particularly powerful divine aura coming from
Would I know how it's standard to like say a prayer or show respects in a
it.
shrine or temple?
It's honestly very up to the individual. Um, most people are kind of just allowed to do what they would prefer as long as they're not defacing anything.
Okay, I guess I'll get down on one knee and
Mhm.
bow my head and just be silent for a while. Kind of.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You kind of just kind of bow your head there. Um, the you can hear the sounds around you of people kind of wandering around. Um, you do kind of as you're sitting there just hear a little bit of the like of the ambient sounds around you. It almost sounds like a couple of like the voices um almost are like seem to like say words to you almost. It's almost like there's from all the words like some of them stick out and you hear like seems to be like almost a sentence of someone of it saying like come this way. Seems to be repeated a couple different times.
Is there a specific direction that like the voices seem to come from,
Yeah,
or
from
any?
behind you.
Okay. I guess I will slowly stand up and then turn around and walk in that direction.
Okay. As you step out, the voices seem to continue. Um, they seem to lead in a specific direction as you kind of are headed out. So you step outside, the voice seemed to lead directly to what would be this would be your left. Um, and you step out, and they seem to lead directly into the next area. Um, make me a perception check if you would.
16. Sure is great not
Okay.
being poisoned anymore.
Yes, it is good not being poisoned. You do clock just kind of as you're trying to listen hard. The area is the area of the grave care, and above the door is a skull that seems to be sitting in the middle of a grove of trees. Um, and as you walk in, you see that standing there, the statue seems to be just of a woman in a white like hood and dress, is just standing there. And the voices seem to lead and then finally stop as you're standing like basically right before the statue.
But I'll go and do the same thing I did in the other shrine at this statue and see if anything happens.
Okay. As you kind of kneel down, you and you're sitting there, you feel a kind of a pulse out from the statue almost. And you feel as though someone has placed their hand on your shoulder, like a kind, almost like a motherly kind of a feeling. Um, and you don't hear any voice or anything, but it's just a calm and kind of a feeling, um, and one that kind of it's almost as if you're feeling like it's almost as if someone is speaking back to you empathic, which is something that you're not used to someone being able to speak fluently
Hmm.
in. But it's almost like you're feeling empathic, and it's a sense of a love and care, but also you also get the sense of a feeling of just that they'll accept any decision you make, but almost like a and always open to you.
Are there lots of people in this shrine?
You don't see a lot. The grave care, there seems to be maybe 3 people worshiping here. You can in fact see that the clerics, there are fewer clerics here too. There seem to be probably about 4 that are standing here. You can see that there are other rooms, and you watch as a cleric kind of leaves, and you can see inside that it seems to be like a chamber where like the dead are put to rest.
Hmm. I would like to attempt to speak to the statue empathic. I know I'm supposed to
Okay.
target a creature, but in this moment, I don't
Yeah.
know. And I'm just going to express my regret at my failure to prevent what happened at Bosham.
As you kind of express this, you immediately get this wave of a sense of just love, of someone who cares, but also a sense of that everyone makes mistakes. But there's also a very deep sense behind it of that there is never too far that someone can go.
Hmm. I'll go ahead and I'll speak out loud this time, and I'll say, what should I do now?
You feel a response, and it's a deeper, more, for lack of a better term, intimate form of pathic from what you're used to, that just seems to give you a sense that you're headed in a good direction, and that there's nothing, basically, that they're here for you no matter which choice you make.
Hmm. Are there? Can I see like clerics and stuff like actively, like burying the dead in that chamber, or is it like a blocked off place where I can assume that's happening?
So you can see people in there, and in fact, like the door it's left only slightly ajar, so most people can't see in because people could be like not like to see that sight or anything like that. But you can see inside, and you can see, um, especially if you were to walk over, you would be able to see like them very gingerly and carefully um, and very respectfully taking care of the dead inside.
Okay, I would like to uh, quietly and respectfully go up to one of the clerics, preferably one that isn't like in the middle of doing something.
Yeah, yeah. You could, as you kind of walk up, you can see kind of like turning towards you. You can see a. Actually, I want to see. I think I actually put down something for who this person is. One moment. Just want to make sure I don't give it if I have a different person than I was thinking of. Okay. All right. You can see that um, underneath the kind of cleric hood up top, um, you can see kind of looking up to you with the saddest eyes you've ever seen, um, of someone who's just been through tragedy, um, but also a calm resilience underneath, is a Metalier girl, um, fairly young, younger than Frey. Um, she seems to have under one arm is a small book, that seems to be, you can see kind of that, as she kind of like looks at it, she kind of, as you walk up, she kind of closes it, but you can see on the cover that it's seems to be some sort of a spell book of some sort. She kind of closes as she kind of like turns and looks up and she says, "Yes, can I help you in any way?"
I I was actually wondering if there's any way that I could help you.
Help me. Do you mean me specifically, or are you speaking to? And she points to the statue.
Um, well, both really. Primarily the shrine, but if there's anything I can do for you in particular, I'd gladly lend my services.
Well, the the shrine itself needs no funds, and there's not much that we could use. The most I could ask is if you see people who would be in need of a proper burial, who would be in need of anything of that sort, informing us or letting one of those who is of our order know. That would be the most I could ask. As for Vita herself, I would say that honestly, as long as I've worshipped her, most people are scared of Vita as of her particular inclination towards death, but she's also a lover of life. And she's one of the most interactive gods that I've met. She speaks a lot, not with words to me, but she's kind and always very reassuring. I've had a couple times that I've actually been in a little bit of danger and received a little bit of help from her. I'd say that the most that you could do for Vita is just honestly respecting those in life as you would those in death.
Yeah. I believe she spoke to me just now.
She does that sometimes. Most of the people who come in here are not those who are already worshippers. It's those who seem to be just led to coming here. You don't seem like someone who's experienced great tragedy, though, which is different than most. But if you would like any instruction on her or anything, you're welcome to stay or speak with us, whatever you would like.
Yes, I think I'd like to learn what you do here, laying people to rest. I've had some experience with death recently, and I think that this is the right thing to do when those experiences happen.
Very well. Come with me. And she leads you into the room where they're currently working on, and you can see that several of the other clerics just kind of glance up and look at you. You can see that the clerics here are of every race. There are very many different types. You can see that there's actually an incredibly old tiefling man is one of them, who seems to be kind of more of the ones in charge. But they kind of walk you through the process that they do and show you things. And you would know this simply by being the person you are. You can swear fealty to a specific deity you would like, and you can gain not quite a boon, but you gain specific perks depending on the one you pick. It's usually related to like you're welcome in their shrines, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you would roll me a quick history check, I would love that.
Oh,
you do have advantage on this, by the way.
Ooh. And I have proficiency. Wow, they're both 17s. That's an 18.
Okay. You would know, as you're kind of looking around, and especially in this room, you realize that Imidar, the centaur that you met, his neck, you noticed at one point him kind of like reaching and kind of rubbing at his neck, and he would pull out every once in a while and just kind of look at, and he had a symbol to the grave care that he had on him, especially him being right next to a graveyard. But yeah, Before we kind of continue with you, we'll go to everybody else if any of the rest of you have anything you'd like to do.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if anyone was in there with me because, yeah, I was going to kind of set a scene, but
Oh, if you're gonna set a scene and then people are probably, I assume that most of your friends are just kind of wandering around looking at the place because it
yeah.
is a beautiful building.
I did want to ask a question to. Oh, bye, Kevin. Adios, I guess. All right. I guess you would know his pathic ability, right? Like, can he sense like really strong feelings?
No, it's more like
No.
he would be able to, if you're specifically sending it at him, he would know someone's trying to communicate.
Okay. Okay. So, um, so basically, what Frey does is he's gonna kneel down in front of one of the statues,
Yeah.
and he's gonna sit there for a while. Um, but before he does that, he's gonna turn to his dragon and apologize. Um, and then as his prayer continues, the what is the lighting in the room?
This particular room, it's bright, but there's also the stained glass above gives this almost feeling of a, and it's hard to describe. The best way to describe it is a transcendence from pain. Is almost what it seems to be.
Transcendence for me. Okay. Are there torches in this room?
There are a couple.
Okay. Um, basically, as the prayer continues, the torches are going to change color to kind of this blood red. And if anyone, like probably the lady who's working on the statue, I don't know if she'd ever notice, but like Frey's arms, his fists are clenched and his arms are shaking. And the only way you could describe his facial expression right now is indescribable rage during this prayer. This continues on for about a minute, and then the flames will die down back to their normal color, and he'll just be like tired,
Yeah.
and then he will stand up and leave.
Okay. Yeah, as you kind of stand up, you do notice a look from one of the um, like, in fact, it's like as you're leaving, it's one of the paladins that's out in front. As you're leaving, just kind of puts a slight hand on your shoulder. It's the woman that was out there. Um, and you see like this look of an understanding between the two of you. Ryan, go ahead.
Okay. Can I? She's probably just gonna like sit in the middle somewhere, like where she can find a chair, like in the main
Yeah, so
church area, not really in anywhere.
so there are plenty of like there's trees inside this area.
Oh yeah.
That have been set up and like benches that are sitting around and things like that. There's plenty of places to sit.
Okay. Can she just like sit down and she's gonna try and find, like she's just gonna like close her eyes, bow her head a little bit, and try and find any of the like shrines that seem familiar to like the power she gained, because she's not sure if she will, but she's going to try. So do you want me to
Okay.
roll for that?
Yeah, roll me a Arcana check. Actually, this would be a religion check. Sorry.
Pretty good religion. Let's see. 17.
Okay. Let's see here. You would get a very, very faint feeling towards um towards both the life giver and light bearer areas.
Okay, and do I know anything about either of those?
You would know a tiny bit. Um, the life giver is a very um, she's most associated with life, nature, fertility, and love. and she's one of the most worshipped gods in the world. She's she goes by the name Devardi, is her real name, but goes off most often by the Life Giver. And she's from what everybody seems to know of her, she gets along with all of the other gods very well. Most of them get along, but she seems to be almost the glue that keeps them together.
Mm-hmm.
As for the light bearer, you would know that the name is Jandine, and that from what you know of him, he's commonly associated with change, hope, and growth. And you would know that he's also a fairly understanding one of the gods.
Okay. Does she like see any connection between like the like in session 0 when she touched the stone thing, saw the hand reaching towards the girl? Does she feel any similarity between that feeling she felt, like when she saw that, to any of them?
No, you wouldn't. And there you can actually go into each area, and there are depictions of each of
Mhm.
the two gods in there.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you want the depictions?
Well, would she find anything that was like that was who I saw, or no?
No,
Then
you would not.
she's just gonna sit there and kind of think about like who it could have been, and she's also gonna kind of like just like recuperate, kind of think about like what happened to Basham, because she's been hiding that really affected her a lot,
Yeah.
very well, and so she's just gonna kind of sit there by herself and just kind of do that.
Okay. Yeah. I will say that you would feel a faint, almost, it's faint, but it's almost like the crashing of the waves of a hurricane that seems to be coming from one of the areas. And it's almost like it's calling to you. You don't have to accept the call.
Which one is it? Can I tell?
Yes. You would tell that it's coming from the Change Weaver.
And what do they represent?
They represent weather, storms, restarting, and necessary devastation.
Okay. What does like the pull feel like to her? Is it kind of like, I don't know, like forceful, or is it kind of like, okay, this is an option, or what?
It's an interesting mix. It's both an option, but it's also a powerful personality. It feels like a hurricane, like a natural disaster. It's powerful, but it's by no means commanding you.
Okay. Um, she's just gonna kind of sit there and ignore it, and she's gonna actually get a little angry. Like silently, she's just gonna get kind of angry, but she's not gonna accept it.
Okay. All right. Um. Okay. And are Serixer or Ramus or Orestes? Are you guys?
Do I run into Amaran? I was heading over to the Gravekeeper.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you would have entered. In fact, I think you would have entered as Umberon was actually probably entering that same area. But I actually, if it's okay with you, Kaven, I don't think that Umberon would have acknowledged you. I think he would have just kind of kept going, and then you would have noticed him kind of like kneel down and kind of doing these things, and then walk up to one of the clerics. And despite your unfamiliarity with these kinds of situations, you could almost feel the almost solemnity, I guess.
Okay. Umron does look kind of busy, I guess. Are there any like obvious bodies around?
You can see through the door that they are working on people,
Mhm.
but they're out here in the main area. There are maybe 4 clerics. Inside that room, there's probably around 6.
Mhm. I feel like Ramus would be slightly intimidated by just like the pressure of the air, like the calmness, the serenity, like
Yeah,
the chill vibes.
yeah.
And uh it's hard. There was a statue in here, right?
Yeah, there's a statue of a woman in a white hood and dress.
You know, I feel like he would actually go up to one of the clerics and be
Mhm.
like, I heard over in the other room over there, the life givers, that there was a way to bring people back from the dead. And if there's a way to bring people back from the dead, why do we need this place?
The man, as you kind of walk up, he's um, he's an orc. Seems to be a half orc.
Hmm.
And as you kind of walk up, you see him just kind of smile. Says, "Well, often when people could be brought back, sometimes it's not what should happen.
Why not?
Sometimes things simply aren't meant to happen. For instance, why does one day a fox kill a rabbit?
Why
Why
does one
doesn't
day
that?
a whole city explode?
Yeah. Why do things simply happen?
Do you not know?
It's not my job to know.
Whose job is it?
I don't know if it's anyone's, honestly.
How do you know if you shouldn't bring someone back?
I think that that's a question best answered yourself. I can't answer it for you.
Okay. So I'm assuming that you wouldn't really like it if I tried to bring back any of the people here, would you?
You're welcome to try if you would like, and we'll see what happens.
Do you know any place that I could make tea?
Sure, come with me. And he leads you. There's a room that he leads you through the room that they're kind of working on people. Um, and there's a room that seems to be like a kitchen, and beyond it you can see rooms where these clerics likely live. And you can see that
Hmm.
there's actually like um, as you walk in, he just kind of gestures, and you can see that there's like a teapot over there to the side, and like a stove.
All right. Do I know how to make tea? That is the question.
You've likely seen someone make tea. Could you
I've
I
seen,
mean,
recreate
sure,
tea?
right for sure.
you saw Frey put pine needles in water and just boil them. That's kind of like a tea, I guess.
Yeah, is that not what tea is?
Some degree, yeah.
I think we're just gonna like pull out one of the flowers and put it in there, and just pour water in there.
Okay.
Then, yeah.
Okay, so are you heating it up at all, or are you just like putting in water in it and then you're like, it's good?
um, I saw him heat it up, I think. And so I think I'll pull out the heat stone, turn it on, put it on top.
Okay, yeah, you like sit it on there, and it kind of like it goes for a while, and you eventually start hearing it like intensely boiling inside.
Mm-hmm. Then I'm probably just gonna take it off. Then I'm just like, I didn't hear how hot the tea needed to be. Like, would I pour it in now, or should I wait until it's cool? What do you think?
The guy is not in there right now. He's kind of gone back to
Hello.
his duties, and he's just kind of left you in here.
Okay. Hot is fine. I think he'll try to pick it up, but then the pot is really hot as well, and so he's just like, "Oh, ow, ow, ow."
Yeah.
You know, I'll wait for it to cool down.
Okay.
And so yeah, he'll wait for it to cool down and then take it to a corpse, I
Okay.
guess.
Around 30 minutes later, it is cool enough for you to pick up.
Finally.
Okay. Okay, so you're just taking it over to any corpse you find?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you walk in there,
The nearest
there's
is actively being worked on.
yeah, you can see like there's one like right to the next to the door you just entered.
Nice.
Okay, and then you're just
Is
gonna
the
like
face
pour it
covered?
in their mouth?
Yeah, is the face covered?
No, not currently.
Alright, you just gonna pour it in there, yep.
Okay, roll me a religion check.
Oh boy. Religion is I'm not proficient in it, but it is an intelligence one?
Yeah, religion is intelligence.
Yeah.
Amazing. That will be a 22.
Okay. So you pour this in. As you do, you feel a almost like a kind hand rest on your arm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost you almost feel as like a hand cups underneath the teapot and lifts it. And you feel in yourself a basically a sound of this one's happy where they are. That's kind of the feeling you get.
Mm-hmm. They're happy being dead? He like kind of mutters to himself.
Mm-hmm. You don't seem to get any other inclinations.
And the body is still dead.
Yep, still just that nice and dead right there.
Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna just take the teapot like he's gonna like put it back in his bag. Not empty. Just as much tea was still in there, that's still in there.
Okay.
And he's kind of like gonna walk out thinking quite deeply for, Ramus doesn't think about what he's doing, but he looks quite he's figuring stuff out in his mind as he walks out of there.
Okay. Yeah, so after stealing a teapot from the Shrine of Vita, you leave. No one seems to stop you.
Oh my gosh.
But you now have a teapot.
I now have a teapot.
Ramus
It
is
is still full
literally
of water.
the absent-minded scholar.
Yeah. Yeah. Ramus is just like thinking about what it must be like on the other side for someone to not want to come back.
Yeah, for sure.
What if other people don't want to come back? What will he do?
Yeah, entirely. Okay. Any of the rest of you up to anything currently? Restus, Serixer?
I'm probably possibly wandering the gardens, just waiting for Frey.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
The gardens, they're beautiful.
I'd probably go to the gardens and just start reading my book a little bit more. Just
Yeah, for sure.
chillax.
Yeah. Ryan, go ahead.
So she would probably be thinking about that, and then she'd probably have like a thought come to mind. So can she go back to that bookstore they were in, and then
Yeah.
come back? She
Yeah.
wants to. Is there any books on like evil, like entities, deities, anything
Like
like that?
demons, like I was trying to do.
Kinda, yeah, something along those lines. Like something that
Um,
isn't in the church, like in the temple.
make me a. Actually, this would be a religion check. Make me a religion check.
Okay. 19.
Okay. As you are looking around, you do notice a singular book that seems to kind of stick out a little bit. It's small, but it's a brief history of the brief history of Fandrian is basically what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But you can actually, the thing that sticks out to you is the small piece of paper sticking out of the top of it.
Okay. Can I look at that?
Yeah, the small piece of paper simply says that the history you hear is false. For a real history, visit, and it gives a name. The name on there, allow me to give it to you. It is, one momento, por favor. Okay. The name on there is Vimilian.
Okay. And do I recognize that name?
No, it's a really
Okay.
long name.
All right. And can I also look for any like books on some kind of like weird powers? So like her form of dread and like how like the power she's gained. Can she look for
Yeah,
books like on that?
yeah. As you kind of look around, there are books on things, but you can tell that most of them have been given a very specific, like, connotation, to speak with, that, like, this is just kind of someone's interpretation. But if you want actual, like, help with something, then clerics of the grave carer would be best. Um, but you can see that there are some things that seem to talk about specific individuals dying and coming back with specific um, powers that are similar to what you're seeing.
Okay.
There don't seem to be entirely the same, um, especially with the depiction of the um, like the depiction of the form of dread is different.
Okay. Um, all right. Can she go up to the guy running this shop and just ask him if he knows what the Vermilion thing is?
He seems quite upset that someone stuck a paper in one of his books.
Okay. um, okay. Can she buy the book that has like the stuff about people dying and coming back with powers?
Yeah, it's one copper for that one.
Okay. I will buy it and then I will go back to the temple.
Okay. All right. Um, quickly, just going to you, Umberon, for just a moment. You would, if you want to do anything about it, you would have noticed Ramus come and leave. Whether you do anything about the teapot is up to you. You don't see any of them do it. You see many of them like clock the fact she just straight up took a teapot.
Well, I'll just respect their authority on the matter if they want to. If they try to do something, I'll try to help um, mediate the situation. But if they're not doing anything, I'll let it slide.
Yeah, they basically just let it go. You do watch as one of like they take you through what they do. They show you that one of the things that they do is they very carefully and respectfully like wash the person who's died. And they actually they show you that they have a particular spell that will re-knit like flesh even after someone has died, to make it as nice as it was in life, before they do stuff, and they basically show you their whole process of how they do things.
Cool.
But yeah, basically what they go through. If any of you guys have anything you would like to do at this moment, you're welcome. Or Kaven, if you have any questions, you're welcome.
I think I'm good for right now.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
what
to
are
figure
you
out
guys
whether.
doing? You guys probably
Sorry.
eventually meet up in the garden.
Yeah.
The gardens are very beautiful. They're well maintained. You can tell that, like, with the particular season it is, some of the flowers are like, they're probably not meant to be living right now, and like someone is working very hard to keep the flowers alive, with it being basically winter right now. But yeah, you guys are all together. What would you like to do at this moment? At this point, I'll say it's right around probably 4 with the amount of time you guys have spent.
Umberon?
Yeah.
What's it like after death?
Well, I haven't died yet, so I couldn't tell you. I assume though that one soul goes to wherever it belongs. It's about all I have on the matter. I'm sure that the much more qualified individuals around this temple could better help you on the matter.
Okay. I just wanted to know.
Can I insight check that? My insight's terrible, but that seems a little.
I mean, my deception isn't great either, so I don't.
Little out of character.
That's a natural 20.
Wow. Yeah. Ramus is very shaken by something that happened in the gravekeeper's place. And obviously it has something to do with death. And I think maybe since you've been around him the longest out of all of us, you could assume that it has something to do with Emily.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to get put my hand as close as I can to your shoulder, and then just project a feeling of compassion onto you. I won't say anything, but just let you know that, like, I understand.
He just kind of like sniffs and puts his hand on yours. If anyone else wants to do stuff, you're free to.
I mean, I don't really have anything else to do.
Right. I guess I'll look at the two people who accepted the mission, and I'll be like, how much time do you think, or when do you think we should head over? You guys are mercenaries, are you not? Or so this is your typical ground of work, right?
What time is it right now?
Right now it's around 4.
4. Oh, this is taking a while.
As days sometimes do.
X and I are gonna go find somewhere to train. been a while since we've been able to complete our routine.
I mean,
Unless
sure.
I still want to.
I'm down. Willing.
Okay.
Not down. I'm willing.
Did
Okay.
you just get arrested?
What? Sorry.
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
You'll probably have like noticed because she was in a pretty good mood after the successful mission with Umberon. So she talked a lot then, but now she's very, very quiet, like how you knew her when you first met her. And so
Mhm.
she's just gonna say, I think I'll go back to where my people are, and then I'll just practice some of my shooting skills there. But I will meet you all. Well, where are we meeting for this mission?
In the market square. Or market
Okay.
shelf.
All right, I will meet you there tonight then, but I will see you then.
Hmm.
Okay. As you all kind of split to go your different directions at this moment, one of the things that you do not see is a particular individual sitting and watching as you each split up, sitting comfortably on a bench, one leg over her other leg, a particular white tiefling, just smiling as she watches you each head in different directions. And I think that is where we will end tonight's session.
Hey, Goo.
What?
TC, calm down. TC, just
Concerned.
No.
TC, it's fine. This is perfectly normal.
It's bad. It's bad.
I'm
No, it's
very
fine.
afraid of this children, Casey.
I just want to impress upon you just how nice she is.
How
Kyrian.
much of
Yeah.
a BBEG she could be.
Nice. Those are the words I would definitely use to describe her.
Yeah, she's nice.
Kind, friendly,
Yeah,
compassionate.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But
Compassionately stab you in the throat.
chill out.
There
She
are
hasn't
worse ways
actually
to be
killed
stabbed.
anybody yet.
Keyword yet.
Yeah, keywords, but still. Okay, well, thank you guys all for coming, and yeah, we're hopefully this episode was kind of exciting, had some fun in it, and also some kind of serious and chill. But yeah, we're excited that you guys are here, and we'll see you guys this next time. We hope you have a great day. See ya.
Bye.
They can't even see me wave.